Won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're down in the feet. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire out the fuel. Follow my lady. Just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool. Get that chin up off the ground and flash that smile for me. Put some pep up in that step, it's going down shortly. Got so much weight up on my shoulders, all this jewelry on me. I wear my shades inside cause I go blind just looking down. Looking like the man sipping Chardonnay on the balcony, looking like a young Elvis Presley. I've been overseas, I've been underneath, I ain't never seen nothing like a prison 12 o'clock. I don't know nobody looking like that, I don't know nobody looking like that. I don't know nobody looking like that. I don't know nobody looking like that. Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire out at the fuel. Follow my lady. Just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool. Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this?
I don't wanna waste my time just stalling. I'm just being honest, you know that I'm falling. I need some space just so we can get caught. Let me set the pace just so you can get.
That song, like,
I love that other
Can we
song.
just
but
let-
I've asked you for the title before, and
can
I
we
have
just
it
let
saved.
that roll? Can we do 90 minutes of just that next time? Because that song is a jam.
We lost your voice again.
We can't hear you at all, but that song was a jam.
I was saying it's the only good song that we have the license to play. That's what I was saying. Okay, I would love.
I actually like legitimately love that first song that was playing.
I'm trying a new audio setup right now, and now I have to remember where everything is that I have to like control at any given time. And it's
You have a
gonna be
new
super
computer setup.
Yeah, it's a new everything setup, which we'll talk about in a second. And but also I have a keyboard and mouse in front of me that does not actually belong to the computer that I'm using, and I keep typing on it because it's available to me.
Does that? It feels like a bit like it's a targeted, like that's targeted against me who doesn't have access to my trackboard or keyboard right now.
Right, but I'm saying that Mackenzie is going to be. Oh,
This has nothing
okay.
to do with why we were late.
I just realized Mackenzie's laptop is sitting beside me. It's not affecting anything. In my mind, she's outside doing something on her computer. Just,
No, don't send! Don't send!
I thought Halloween was over. She's been
That's
dead
her
the whole
boss.
time in this.
It's coming from inside the building.
Anyway, okay, let me. I'm here though.
So my trackpad and keyboard are not connecting, and so I'm gonna be doing this because my computer is here.
And mine is also this direction.
I almost
And
feel
my
like I
stuff
need
is
to,
working normally, so I will be
Hey,
straight ahead.
shut
That
it.
is an attack. That's straight up an attack.
Okay, where's chat at?
Chad?
Chat. Hello, Kreider. Let's go. Kate Dykstra. Mackenzie's
Hello,
here.
Kreider.
Jedi's
Let's
here.
go.
Patrick,
Becca's
you're
here.
quiet. That is very fixable. Do people want it fixed?
I want you fixed.
All right. Well,
Easy.
I would. Never mind. Okay. Hopefully that's better. If it's not better, just let me know because I might do something about it. Can I tell you a frustration of mine? I upgraded
can't
to the
wait.
newest Sequoia on Apple. Sequoia.
Yes. Preach.
And
Sequoia.
Preach.
And whenever I take applications and by the way, Jedi, no talk about that this stream. We are escapism. But any time I take an application and I push it to the top of the screen, there's like the top bar, there's 1 pixel of gap, and then there's the application window, and that 1 pixel of gap drives me crazy. I don't want to see
Yes.
that. I want stuff
Yeah.
to touch. I want it to go all the way.
Yeah. No,
That's
I
all.
hear you. I'm with you on that. There's a couple of buggy things about it that just piss me off.
I mean, I'm
I
sure
haven't
it's an
done it yet.
intentional decision, but it's a bad one.
Yeah, it feels like a bad design decision.
And the
Like
calendar,
brutalism. Oh shoot! I just made something full screen that I did not
You're
want
done.
to make full screen.
and the
Okay.
calendar, when you have
You'll
like a
never
calendar
recover from
event,
this.
there's like no padding on either side of it. It goes all the way to the edge of the event in the calendar now, and it feels
Now,
like a mistake.
some might say that the things we're describing are first world problems, and to them, I would say, "How are you watching this right now
Well,
on a computer? Welcome to the first world."
yeah, exactly. First world problems in the first world are just problems. And that's
Yeah,
where
it's
we're
just
at
kind of
right
like
now.
when you're in China, Chinese food is just food.
It's just food.
That's how
They
it works.
don't call it Chinese food.
No, can you believe
What?
that?
I was gonna close one loop, so I'm gonna quickly break my rule, but then my rule's back in action.
Yeah.
I'm gonna close one loop from last time we talked, which was about my mail-in ballot, my request for a request that came in.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The request for a request took 3 days to arrive.
Mhm.
3.
Mhm.
The real ballot took, and this is business days, not actual days. Business days took 8 business days to arrive, which is real days like 10 or 11, maybe
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
So in other words, I got it today, and I had to pay for overnighting it to get it to.
No, you could take it. You can take it to a physical location and drop it off.
But
I think also like if it's
You didn't have
mailed
to
like post stamped before
But it's a Texas
November
ballot.
5th.
It doesn't
then you're
matter.
Okay too.
It doesn't matter. Absentee ballots can still function that way. You can
My
still
un-
drop them off.
My understanding was that it had to be to like my precinct's office by the day after the election if it's postmarked by 5 p.m. That was my understanding. I could have been wrong, but
We
the point
did pretty
is,
extensive research on it because Becca is still registered in Florida,
oh,
and
great.
so all.
Well,
of
I
that,
paid to overnight mine.
Okay.
So
Well, good. So it cost you
Democracy.
$95 to
The cost of
express your
democracy, yes.
democratic.
no, my vote cost $32.18. That is what it's worth.
Well, let's see if it counts.
Because if they fail to get it there in time, that's how much they refund me. So you can, in essence, buy my vote for $32. It's done. It's done. Jetpacks. No. Don't look at this. It's done, Jetpacks. I promise. We're going back to the regularly scheduled show now. But good to see you respond to a
I
message.
thought you
brother.
were accidentally saying Jedi. I'm like, he's saying Jetpacks.
I did too.
No,
But
I
Jetpacks
know
is
how to
actually
say-
here. Welcome, Blake.
Yeah.
It's been
I
been a minute.
I'm pretty sure I slacked him like 3 days ago with no response. So this is a
your
good time.
response.
Let's talk about it now, Jetpacks. What happened? Just kidding. Just
Uh,
kidding.
Yeah, publicly in front of all of us. Who hurt you? And okay, let's get started. We've got a jam-packed episode full of what I assume is talking. What I can
Sure.
only
Yeah,
imagine
that's
is
the
talking.
plan for it.
Let's clap
I
it
was so
in
confused
3
when I realized
and
he's in
2 and 1 and here we go.
crazy.
I was really confused because Jetpacks is in the YouTube chat and not the
Twitch chat. Yeah,
Yes.
it's fine. He's over there by himself, but that's okay.
Mhm.
I do not have my trackpad and
Well, I
guys,
turned on
this
the
is,
chat for both now.
This is nuts. I guess I really should really log into this. Okay. Looking like a big Elvis Presley. Here we go. Okay.
Right.
Oh, I should pull up the script. There we go.
What happened?
With what trackpad?
Exactly. That's it. Legitimately, like my whole workflow is thrown off because nothing is where it needs to be. Okay.
fine.
That's the Pondering Potter script. Let me
Oh
scroll
wow,
through.
that's
Really?
an old one.
Here we go. Here we go. Welcome to episode 570 of the Pop Culture Roundtable, the podcast that just got I voted tattooed on our bodies to demonstrate our support. In this episode, we talk about A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Only Murders in the Building, and Christmas Ween trivia. I'm Andrew Sale.
I'm Lauren Rubin.
I'm Patrick Hill.
So get ready to show off your democratic patriotism. Not patriotism. We fixed that. Why wouldn't it fix that? What is patriotism?
I don't know.
We're going to have to find out.
There's probably some sort of salve for it, though. Okay. Let me try that again. So get ready to show off your democratic patriotism by listening to another all-American episode.
Is it primarily Christmas trivia or Ween trivia?
It's half and half, baby.
Ween trivia.
Ween trivia.
The trick is it's like Christmas trivia and then trivia about the band Ween,
Yes, exactly.
I will say,
which I will be like, I know that is a band.
the lead singer, he smokes and he'll take his cigarette and he puts it on the neck of his guitar, like between the guitar strings while he's playing. I think
Twisting.
it looks so cool. It makes me
that
want to
is
buy a
cool.
guitar and smoke just to do that.
It's just within reach.
Yeah.
We like to kick off every episode by going around the table, which is where we talk about things that are new, fun, and noteworthy about our weeks. Patrick, anything fun happened to you this week?
Not Ween.
Only some. I mean, a little bit that I can legally talk about. No, it was a very whiplash roller coaster. All of the stereotypical terms for a week where things happen quickly, one direction and then the other. I was coming off of a lot of work prepping for an event. I had a high seeing some of that stuff get released and go in front of the public, and that was exciting for me as part of my professional career. We streamed Are You Afraid of the Dark last week, so we just saw y'all about a week ago. We got our
Which
first.
was so fun, by the way.
It was
That
very
a lot of
fun.
Yeah.
And
got
we
our
already
first-
know what the next movie is going to be.
Yes, we do, and it's such a no-brainer. Someone should guess in chat.
Yeah.
We got our first copyright strike immediately following that, and
Yes, we
which no, it's
And it's
all
so
fine.
funny because we had discussed behind the scenes, we need to make sure that we don't do this so that we don't
So
get
that
it.
we don't
and then
get
we
a
just
strike.
forgot
And then
that completely on the day.
fully did. That's on us. That's on us. And so I went to bed feeling kind of bad of like, oh, someone slapped me on the hand. And then I woke up the next morning to getting slapped in the face because I lost my job along with 274 other people. So the
Oh,
company I
no.
work for, Miro, laid off 18% of their staff. I was part of that 18%.
And all
I have
because of
never.
that strike?
I think because we streamed Are You Afraid of the Dark, and it went on my
Man.
permanent record. They
Mhm.
alerted my employer.
They had no
but,
choice.
You know, it's interesting
Well,
it's
because
not
of the
interesting, it
implications.
sucks. Yeah. I've never had to experience this in my professional career. I've watched several people in our community go through it, and I always said the typical like, yeah, I've watched
Hey, how's it going?
50. I mean, maybe everybody I'm looking at right now on the stream go through it, and I try to be empathetic to people. But I only know now that I did not have empathy for the situation. Like, I did not understand what you feel in that situation.
Well, it does explain why you, before having gone through it, used to say to me, this is all your fault. This is all your fault. If you were just a better person, this would never have happened to you.
Yeah, and I
I'm like, man, he does not get it.
yeah, and I bought you that shirt
Patrick
that
is a
said,
really
just
great
get a new
counselor."
job.
Just get a new one.
Um,
There's plenty of fish in the sea. You should be a fisherman. I remember you getting me that shirt, and I thought, this
Yeah.
feels insensitive, but I don't know how do I tell him.
but turn around. So that was Wednesday of last week, and then as of today, I thankfully got my first job offer. I will say I'm not gonna go into details because I haven't got to like an official start date, and so I'm not gonna like do that too quick. But for those in our community, the close friends, all that type of stuff, thank you for all of your support and well wishes and recommendations and all those things. So I should be, by the time we talk next time, I should be up and running in a new thing. But wow,
You already filled out the
what a
HR
roller
paperwork and
coaster.
But
everything.
What a roller
is it a coincidence that this unofficial job offer comes on the eve of and telling people more solidified details next week comes on the heels of this election season,
Good.
Patrick?
I
Are you
guess-
Patrick
moving
is a
to
write-in option.
a large facility with a lot of responsibility? Just be
Yeah.
honest with us, Patrick.
I've put all my eggs in the basket of
the
RFK's
write-in?
campaign.
of the write-in.
Yeah, that's it. We'll see what happens. But anyway, yeah, it's so you can imagine how much mental energy that has taken from me. So I haven't, we tend to talk about games and movies and things like that. I haven't been able to consume a lot on that side post Are You Afraid of the Dark, because I've been really deciding if I was employable, would ever work again, what would happen to my family, if Mackenzie would leave me. Those are the things I've kind of been going through.
Sure.
That
And you didn't
whiplash-
have time to rewatch all of Arcane yet?
No, and I had to rewrite a resume, and now suddenly, as of today,
Yeah.
those emotions are shifting. So, crazy time.
Yeah. Crazy time.
Congratulations. That's very
to be-
exciting.
Thanks. I mean, yes, thank you for the congratulations. It was all me. I'm just kidding. No. But I mean, like,
sorry that you had to go through the bad part of it, but at least
But-
it turned out okay.
but like the flip side is, wow, for everybody that's either gone through it or is currently going through it, holy cow. I haven't felt those emotions before. It's a lot. And even knowing that like my situation has a resolution, I still feel like I'm going to need another month to like process the shock and the feeling of like not being a good enough for other people and like all those things that come with it. Like, I'm still going to need some time to go through this. It's still a lot. So for anybody that's listening that's going through it, I have empathy. And we'll talk about it more next time. So
should I just go ahead and
return the shirt.
return the show? Okay, good.
Just return the shirt. See if you can get your money back. Anyway, Andrew, thank you for answering my phone calls this week. I'm assuming you have done something at least mildly better overall.
Yeah. Then losing my job? Yeah, I didn't lose my job, but
Yeah.
you got a good job with that's gonna net you better. So like in that
Sure,
regard, maybe I am doing worse than you. Like in that, maybe overall I'm netting worse than you. But a couple of things. I've been reading a couple books. I am revisiting the Nick Offerman book that the title is so long. I want to make sure that I get it right, because it's such a good title. It's called Nick Offerman's Where the Deer and Antelope Play, The Pastoral Observations of One Ignorant American Who Loves to Walk Outside. And this book is basically a humorist's version of like making a pitch for the agrarian lifestyle, basically. If you know who Nick Offerman is, he very much, he plays Ron Swanson on Parks and Rec, like famously, among other roles. But he is very much a person who wants to live in harmony with the world around him. He wants to eat as clean as possible. He, hunting, using all the parts of the animal, using his hands to make furniture and make things. Like, he wants to get out in nature. Like, the Ron Swanson that you see by the end of the series is absolutely a reflection of who Nick Offerman is. And so it's just fun to go back and revisit that book. I read it a couple years ago when it first came out. It came out right on the tail end of COVID. And so this talks about how, like, one of the third act of the book is all about he and Megan Mullally, who's his wife, taking this Airstream around the country, and all these things. But there's a lot of observations that I forgot about, and just a lot of, he's such a beautiful writer. And as a humorist, he's also incredibly intelligent. So I kind of feel like I may have said this when I read this the last time and talked about it on the show, because I know I've talked about it on the show. He seems like a modern day Mark Twain. If you've ever read any of Mark Twain's stuff, like, this feels like a Mark Twain, like kind of a reincarnate. And so it's always fun to revisit that stuff. And some of the stuff, like one of the things that he says, this actually isn't even his quote, but he quotes somebody else. Well, never mind. That's going to be too
Just
political.
read it.
But
Can you
no,
find
it's going to be
it?
too
How
political.
long is it? Oh, political. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be too political, so I'm just gonna stay away from it. But the book is so good, and it makes me really want to get out in nature. I turn 40 in a little over 2 weeks, and
Wow.
I know, and so actually when we podcast,
Coming for you.
I know. When we podcast, wait, who's coming for me?
40.
Death?
I'm just, I'm just joking.
Absolutely.
The grave is coming on you.
No.
It's fine, Patrick. We'll just move on. I've decided for we're podcasting the day before my birthday, and that's a Monday, and I'm actually taking that Monday off. I'm gonna go on a hike. I'm gonna go to Fredericksburg and do the Enchanted Rock hike over there, and just kind of spend the day by myself. And I decided I was gonna do a list, like go out and do this and spend some time reflecting and do a list of 40 things that I regret, like things that have happened in my life or that I've done in my life that I regret, and then do a list of 40 things that I'm grateful for, or whatever things that happy memories or things that I want to remember. And then I'm going to destroy the list of regrets and kind of just the ceremonial way of just kind of moving past those things. So,
Sounds
but
awesome.
this book has been a big motivator to just be outside. And I'll probably actually leave the AirPods away and leave them in the car and just actually be out in nature for as much as I can stand. It's fall in Texas. It should be fine, honestly.
Have
Oh,
you
it's so
thought-
nice right now. I've been outside a lot.
Yeah,
Have
me
you
too.
thought
Much as
about
possible, to
just
be
doing
honest.
a 40-mile run instead?
No, I have not thought of that.
Okay.
I will, but on that
That's
topic,
like so long.
so I remember
40 miles in a week or something like that.
I'm doing between 50 and 70 miles a week.
I'm
right
telling
now.
you should take time off for your birthday.
He's going on a hike.
I am.
Yeah.
So here's what. So last time we talked, I accidentally did 15 miles, and that was the most I'd ever done. Well, last week, I did 16 miles. So I just keep
Nice.
adding distance to my my record. But so I do. Here's a little bit of a soapbox thing. So I've been losing weight. I'm back on, back in my health journey and spending so much time outside and being diligent about what I'm eating and working out every day and all these things, right? And I've had people today, somebody specifically today at work, they were like, "Do you mind me asking how much you've lost?" And I said, "Well, I'm at 97 pounds right now." And they said, so it's basically a Lauren. I've lost a
lot.
Lauren.
Yeah.
Since
It's a bit
June.
more than that, unfortunately, but yeah.
But and they were like, "Wow." And they said, "And what are you doing?" And I told them, and they said, "Oh, so there's no surgery." And I got offended. Internally, I'm like,
Really?
I did. I didn't.
I mean, if
outwardly
anything, I would have
express
thought Ozempic or whatever, just because
Well,
a
and
lot
so
of people are
that's-
doing
so
that lately.
I
yeah.
had the conversation with Becca tonight just a little bit ago. I was thinking this isn't people's fault, but there is a frustration that comes in that comes alongside of me. That's there's a lot of work, a lot of diligence, a lot of commitment, a lot of discipline that is behind these kinds of results. And there is a bit where I feel like when somebody suggests, and I have a pretty public, I'm a more of a public figure in my day-to-day life, much like this scenario, right? A lot more people know me than I know, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
right?
Okay,
I'm on
sure.
stage a lot and people see me, and so that's just by nature of my job. And I started thinking this shouldn't matter to me, but most of these people who don't know me or who only know me as kind of a third party, maybe that's what they're thinking. They're just thinking oh, he must have gotten some sort of gastric bypass surgery, or he's taking Ozempic, or he's doing something like that. And in my head, I think that those are shortcut things, and I'm offended by it, and I shouldn't care.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Patrick, you've gone through a big weight loss and lifestyle change and a big swing. Can you relate to what I'm talking about? Like if you had gone through that and someone said to you,
Oh, I
like,
can relate to this completely because, like,
Yeah,
I mean, maybe like this is like slight offshoot, but like I used to be a lot heavier and then I lost weight, and I've kept off the majority of the weight, but I've, like it fluctuates and stuff. But because like most people that I know now have only known me smaller, they assume that I don't know anything about working out, dieting, eating right, none of that. And so it's just like, why do you think that I don't know anything about that? How do you think I stay small? Like,
yeah, sure.
it's all part of it. Like, and so I don't usually even talk to anyone about workout stuff because I get annoyed about it really quickly because there people will dismiss what I say immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly, I mean, yes, I want people to recognize the hard work that I put in from the standpoint of it is a lot of hard work, and you don't want someone to feel like to look at you almost like you cheated it. And not that it
Yeah.
even matters if you have the results and you feel better,
Yes,
who cares? And
exactly,
on that
exactly.
note, if someone loses weight through surgery or Ozempic or something, that's awesome too. I mean, like
Yeah.
there's not a better or
Yes,
worse if
right.
you're improving your lifestyle, improving your lifestyle. That said, the two things I'll say, one is that uh getting physically healthy and getting mentally healthy are two completely separate processes, and they always lagged or were very disconnected for me, and so that's one thing. And the second thing is the thing that drove me the most crazy, the absolute most crazy, is when someone would talk about weight loss, and once you tell them, because inevitably they ask, how'd you do it? And you
Mhm.
do tell them, then their follow-up was typically explaining to you why what you did was not the correct way of doing
Yep.
it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And that was my number one frustration.
Now, I will say this. I'm on the other side of that because the way that I do it is literally the doctor prescribed, like the
Yeah.
most natural way, like watching what you're eating, working out, and getting active. Like those are literally, like that's the baseline. So I have to do what you're saying. I have to be aware of that from my own perspective, right? It's like I have private feelings sounds weird. I have feelings inside about how certain people's methods and things, but I would never tell them like that's
You're
not gonna
wrong.
work.
Yeah.
Right. Like if
I would be like, hey,
If-
have you tried this also? Or like something nice?
see, I
Not
won't
like,
even. I don't.
yeah.
I'm so nervous to even do that. I just go, okay, like that never
Mm-hmm.
worked for me. This is what works for me. I'm glad that works for you. Like I truly am happy for them that something like that works for them. And I know I shouldn't care what people think, especially people who are third party to me who I don't interact with. I shouldn't care about that.
It is a
But
little
I do.
annoying though. Like I get it. Like I totally understand why it's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
there's-
it's not
Anyway.
more than like annoying. And like now that you've said this, that's all you needed to get away with. Like just now it's over with, like it won't bother you. But yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
it's annoying.
I there is a piece of all of this that's just about like the mitigating risks. If we're talking about, because I know in the first time I lost weight was completely more of a vanity thing. It wasn't necessarily like I didn't go to a doctor and get a bad
Yeah.
result or something like that.
It
This
wasn't
time,
like you weren't on the hook for something.
yes, and this time losing weight, because I've lost not as much as you. I think I've lost like 25 or 30 pounds or something. But this time going through the process, it is because of some health stuff. It's a different flip. And so I think the thing that I've realized now is that mitigating risks are really important. And so people will talk about how, hey, that thing you're doing is unhealthy, but it may be far less unhealthy than the other thing you were doing. So
Yeah,
in that case,
Yeah.
so in that case, like, so what? Like, maybe I have a 20% chance of getting cancer, but I did have a 40% chance, and so like this is still a way better chance. Like, I don't know.
And
Like,
all of this stuff is usually generated in a silo. Like it's not generated by having an open dialogue with somebody who you're
Yeah.
genuinely close with. It's usually coming from people who are just onlooking, and they're like you forget
You know
what you do.
nothing.
And honestly, part of Nick Offerman's book, it talks about that and about
Yeah.
how like accept that other people have things going on and don't just assume that they're just assholes because they're whatever. Like they are people with real things happening in their lives too that may affect how they interact with you. It's that same kind of thing. Like, okay, well, all right. Like, okay, everybody is going through a thing. And maybe
Yeah.
the way that you're doing it, I think Luke said it best when he wore that shirt or whatever it was, or that pin that said "Let people enjoy things," right? Like,
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
like, just
I don't
let
know if it's a
don't
product
yum yuck.
of. I don't know if it's a product of internet culture. There's this big thing where there's two pieces of it. One is obviously lack of inhibition because you don't have to face the person you're talking to, and the second is this idea that in order for things to be popular on the internet, they have to be high emotion, and it can be high or big emotion, and that can be big positive, big negative. It can be very angry, whatever it is. But likely people don't want to rewatch something that's level. They want to rewatch something that is extra. And so the no inhibition coupled with the extra
Emotions.
reaction to things leads to people just being harsh or mean or over the top. And it feels like it increasingly is trickling into our everyday interactions. So before people kind of had their offline personality and their online personality, and increasingly the offline personality is also that online personality. And that's the part that feels kind of really bad. And so some of the things you're talking about really just boil down to a kind of basic respect for someone else, of just the thing you said, let people enjoy things, like leave people alone. But it's increasingly people enjoy giving their opinions, or at least it at least feels like that in some of the circles I'm part of.
Yeah. Now I will say I have a lot of either healthy or unhealthy feelings about this whole topic, right? About like interacting with people who are losing weight and how you talk to people about that. And like there's a lot of things.
Well, it's a very sensitive topic, I think, obviously. And even if you're like excited about it, going through it, like feeling the positive side, it's a lot of like sacrifice and stuff. So like it's still not all like positive. Like
And so on that topic, I do think there's a perfect transition into the last thing I want to talk about, which is Halloween candy.
No, I'm upset about this already. Stop. Put it away.
I have a whole bucket to deal with.
This has been trying to do Halloween in the middle of a specifically a weight loss journey and like a health journey. This is I've had a couple of pieces of candy because I haven't restricted my diet.
You have
really
to live.
Anything.
It's
just moderation of everything, right? So, but this has been my candy of preference this year. The Reese's Ghosts, and then which is the white chocolate, and then they have the Reese's Pumpkins and Bats.
I got one of the pumpkin ones, but I have not tried it yet, and
but it's not pumpkin flavored.
Oh, it's not?
That's what I was gonna tell you off air. You were like, "Oh, I got one of the pumpkin flavor ones." I was like,
I'm
"Oh,
so
no.
sad. I've never been more sad in my life."
quick.
I was just picturing like a Reese's peanut butter cup with like pumpkin pie filling. Reese's, if you're listening, please make this.
But look, I want to point this out. Wait, Patrick, go ahead. You seemed like you have a thing you were gonna say.
I just want to say that I don't trick or treat. I don't have kids and that whole thing. But people around me have kids, and I've been taking their kids candy. Just every chance that I get.
You're a Halloween
Like taking
Grinch.
candy to their kids, or you've been stealing the
No,
candy
he has
from
been
their kids?
taking candy from babies.
I've been saying,
that is what
bring
Patrick
me-
has been doing.
Bring me your bag of candy, and I'm going to go through it.
I'm gonna
it's
pillage this.
I'm gonna take my like tax, my
I'm being
adult
sent
tax
from the
your
mob
candy.
to like get my rent, basically. And
Which I think, ironically, you're not paying rent, right? So it's like you're taking.
and I opened.
You're taking
someone's-
rent from the children that are letting you stay at their house.
We're letting
what it is.
letting him live with them.
So
Not from the adults, from the children.
Yeah.
one of these bags, I opened it, and at first glance, it's all the names that I love. And then
Donnie, Jared.
No. Like Reese's and
Hershey's.
sure, other ones. I just eat the label and all. I don't remember. But I started reading the labels because like something looked
Kit Kat.
off about all of it. And then you start reading it, and they're all these like flavors instead of just the normal flavor. And it felt like I had gone trick or treating at Meow Wolf. Like that's and I don't understand that.
Or it's like a
I'm-
Bertie Bott's every flavor beans moment. Like
I have candy once a year at Halloween. That's the only time the year that I will have candy. I just want the normal candy. It so annoyed me. So annoyed me.
So speaking of this,
That's
my
so
sister just
funny.
posted Reese's always taste better as shapes.
I really like
So
that.
on the wrapper, it's got this ghost with the face and like whatever.
Yeah.
The pumpkin has that too, and the bat has that.
Okay.
But someone opened it and was frustrated that it's just a Reese's in like a solid shape. I think it was someone at work. But it says in tiny letters right up here, right above its head, it says, oh, I'm looking at it backwards. It says decorating suggestion. Who is going in to these individual Reese's cups and taking a tiny like X-Acto knife and carving out just the top layer of
Oh, you mean
chocolate
like
to
cutting out
make-
the eyes and stuff
you
if they're not
kidding?
in there normally?
Yes.
I know the answer to
That's
that.
so funny.
Who?
Will Truran has an entire installation about this.
That actually makes sense. That checks
Yeah.
out. That tracks. So this was.
I was like,
this-
I would do it if I was like throwing a party and you did like 3 of them on a charcuterie board or something like that. You know, like not a whole bag. Like that's like
But the thing is, these shapes that taste better, they don't. This
They're
doesn't
very
look
lumpy.
Like, it doesn't look like a ghost outside of.
well, maybe
that.
it would if you put the
It
eyes
doesn't
on
look
it.
like a pumpkin outside of that or a bat. Like it is such a. It's oh my gosh. The answer is lonely people.
How do you get the Reese's to
And I would still
start
do it
with?
for a party.
You have to be an extrovert to even be given that anyway.
That's true. That's true. So anyway, what you had something to say about candy before? Was that what you were going to say before?
That was
I
gonna
wanted
say
to
that, yeah.
complain about all the stupid flavors. That's
Yeah.
what I
Stupid
wanted.
flavors of
I
candy.
wanted to complain about it.
I get it. Now there's Snickers and Twix this year. Maybe this happens every year. I don't know. But there's Snickers and Twix that are like the nougat portion inside, like the soft nougat portion is green. Like you bite into it and it's green.
Don't want it.
I don't like
want it.
that.
Don't like it.
Nope.
It's like green ketchup. How long did that last?
I loved green ketchup.
I did too, actually. Though, like, and they had other
have a
colors
big-
too, but I
I'm
loved it.
weird about that kind of thing for whatever reason, because like I do feel like then the food tastes like artificial coloring sometimes. Like
There's
if you
green
get
We'll taste
tomatoes.
this.
like when
We'll
you get
taste this. We
icing
won't know.
at like the grocery store, you know, like that like blue icing and stuff, like it always tastes like the food coloring.
Yes, we do,
And like
Kreider.
I think that is most of those like strange colored foods for me. It doesn't
What
work.
are you talking about? USA versus Canadian candy. What do you have? Wine gummies. What else do you have? You have ketchup chips.
You have
Is that
ketchup
what you
chips,
give
but
people?
that's not Halloween candy.
A whole
I had
beaver
neighbors who would
tail.
give out bags of popcorn when I was a kid.
in Canada.
That's how
Chips,
you.
chips wouldn't be crazy. Like if you gave like fun sized bags of chips or whatever.
That's how
I-
you dust crystal meth over the popcorn. That's how the
Is
dare
it-
people get
okay,
you.
hold on. Is it that Canadian chocolate
Ironically,
is
it was a
better,
cop's house.
or is it that specifically Hershey's chocolate is bad?
There's a whole documentary about this.
About international chocolates.
And I say documentary, I think it's a podcast episode that somebody did. But I've heard an extended conversation explaining this specifically with the Hershey's chocolate.
I've been getting fed like on TikTok a lot of those like British people try American foods things. We need to like get the candy comparison from those guys.
I have a hard time with what you just put up, Patrick, about are you aware that people think right and left Twix are different? That is peak marketing
Yeah.
winning. If anyone thinks that,
Yeah.
first of all, like I have lots of things to sell you. If you believe that there is something different between the right Twix and the left Twix.
I assume it was Twix's answer to Coca-Cola having like named bottles. Because
Yeah,
like
maybe.
people started buying
Yeah.
Coke because they would like, oh, that's my friend's name or that's
Oh,
my
that's-
name, and then like sales went up.
That's Patrick's favorite name, Donnie.
Yeah.
And Laura Bell.
But if we
and
could buy Twix and one was
Denise.
named like Mackenzie and one was named Patrick, I would do that.
That's
I
cute.
would do that too. And
But
you
that's like
compare them
so
together?
many more combinations.
Mm-hmm.
What if you could what if it was the Reese's
probably get a
packaging?
custom one.
Hang on. What if it was that same deal with the Reese's packaging and then on the thing it just said suggested decoration. And like it was just a Reese's bar that you had to carve your own name in.
Yeah,
But
I
on the
knew it, like a circle
packaging-
even. Yeah.
But on the packaging it had the different
Okay.
names on it.
Okay. You
But that would mean
shape-
more chocolate, so I don't hate this idea.
You shape the
or
Reese's
more
like the
candy.
stereotypical like tree trunk with a knot in it and one branch, and then you have a heart with an arrow through it, and then the people just add their name above and below.
Ooh, this is
Yeah.
there's something here.
No, there's not.
Love it.
This
Oh,
is
okay.
Stick to the normal hits. Play what got
Just
you
give
to
me
the
some
Opry.
chocolate.
That's all I need.
A true well, never mind.
Tennessee.
Everything that you say, I want to make it political because that's where my head is, and I'm just gonna.
Stop.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
No,
do
we're
it. You
out of
can't
that.
make
Don't
me
even
do it,
bring up.
Lauren.
Can't pull us into the
You
madness
can't-
too early.
I'm not gonna let you do it, Lauren.
We have
no matter
one day
what you
left of
say.
peace.
I don't want to.
Stop.
Oh, I don't want to awaken evil.
I want you to every time I'm in an HEB, which goes back to my first statement when I go to Texas.
Yes.
I go look to make sure that candle is still there, and every time Mackenzie's like, "Don't you buy that candle?"
I'm gonna buy one.
I think you
love
should
it
get
so
it,
much.
and when you do,
We'll light them together.
it should sound like.
Now I for sure
I
I'm
was-
not going to be allowed to get it.
Because
I literally
it's
thought
so
you were just going to go.
You buy one for Mackenzie and just cross off awakening and be like canceling or something like.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Okay.
It smells really good. You
Nice.
just rebrand it.
I'm sure it does. And it's
Evil's
not
very
actually-
intoxicating.
It's just awakening. That's all it is.
Yeah, that literally is what it is. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Lauren, take us out of this place.
Well, unsurprisingly, I spent a lot of the last 2 weeks devoting my life to Halloween and Halloween related things, making costumes, throwing a party, going to
Dancing.
other parties,
And?
going to yeah, summoning demons, the usual. Along that line, I just wanted to say that I loved the Agatha All Along finale. I don't think either of you guys are watching it, but I thought this show turned out really awesome, and
Apparently,
it ended right before
everyone
Halloween.
else is based on the numbers they posted, and especially the number
Good.
jump.
I
Up
only
every
haven't
week.
watched the last episode. I've watched every but the last one.
The last two, or because the last two episodes dropped together.
Oh, then yes, the last two. I didn't realize
Okay.
that there were two more. That's okay.
Yes.
That's great.
They dropped the last two together. It makes sense once you see them. But great show. Really, really like happy with how this turned out. I feel like it's too early to like talk about it, and I'm the only one who's seen all of it. But really, really loved this show. It was so perfect to have like around Halloween. It was like good spooky witch vibes and everything. I just really enjoyed it. Stick with it. Like I feel like gives me like a lot of like reawaken my hope for Marvel stuff like a big time, and especially because like the Daredevil show they're starting, like everything that we're hearing about that looks really good too. So I'm just like, hey, there's a chance out there it could like stop sucking.
On that note, are you excited about the Skeleton Crew? Because that, like, the first look at all that stuff has come out.
I liked the new trailer, but my stance stays the same of like I'm going to watch this show. I'm not super excited about it, just like on paper. Like the premise isn't like just grabbing me the way that like Ahsoka did or something like that. But like I want to watch it. I will watch it. I'm going to be watching it every week, like as soon as it comes out. But I just, for whatever reason, this one's just not like jumping out at me. But I would love to be proven wrong. I'm very excited for something that like doesn't feel as connected to other stuff. Like I like the Goonies vibe. That last trailer was really fun. So going to be watching it. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not like as excited as I have been.
I saw a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
or it was a TikTok. It was
Or a
either a
podcast, yeah.
documentary or a TikTok. But I saw this TikTok about this guy who was who saw the trailer, and he said that it looks like a prequel to an origin story for some other Star Wars tale. And I'm blanking right now on what it is, but it's like I think it was like a Disney Star Wars tale from
Like the Ewok Adventures ones?
It
Or like,
wasn't
I don't
Ewok
know,
Adven-
like what would be the other?
No, not quite
Yeah.
that old, but not recent either. Like back when Disney, when Disney did some Star Wars stuff before they even bought stuff, like when they back in the Star Tours days, basically.
I don't know what that could be then.
And they did a good job of explaining it and saying that this character looks like a younger version of this character, and this character looks exactly the same as
Well,
like if that
the
character
Star
ends
Wars
up-
like big universe does recycle stuff from the like Legends canon like that, like you
yes,
know.
but this was a very compelling argument for this band of characters. Seems like it is the origin story for what
I get you.
these exact characters grow to be, and so they made a really compelling case. It was so compelling I don't remember it, but
Yeah.
it was
No,
this
I
thing
think
where I
that
thought,
it has-
Lauren might know about this.
From that description, I can't quite figure it out, but I'm going to try and look up whatever
Me
you're
saying
describing because I'm
a
curious.
character turns into another character.
That's
Isn't
enough.
enough information for
That's
you?
enough
That
for
seems.
sure.
I
that
haven't
seems like
quite
enough.
gotten to the root of the mystery, but give me some time. But I know there are a lot of stuff that they like kind of take and recycle from older stuff that got like kind of thrown into the what is it, the like legacy or legends or whatever canon. So like it doesn't surprise me that it might be based off something that they've done before. Or it's very, very, very Star Wars to be like, and these kids grew up to be the Bad Batch or whatever. Obviously that's not possible because they're all clones. But anyway.
Right, Patrick? You knew that. Skeleton Crew can't be the clones. Skeleton Crew can't be the Bad Batch. We know this. Patrick knows this.
They're literally all clones of Jango Fett. So
yeah,
they can't be.
Patrick.
Yeah.
It's all Django.
But you know what I mean,
Django
though, where
Unchained.
it's like it has to connect back to the larger universe in some way. Like they can't resist doing that. So the idea that these kids grow up to be somebody that we know is very Star Wars.
It
I
is on
have
brand.
to.
Yeah,
I
there
have
you
to
go.
continue. So the deep Star Wars fandom is a little bit like that disease Giardia. And so if we imagine our podcast as like water, I need to act as like the acid that keeps the Giardia away. So I either need to like act disinterested enough, give enough bad takes. I need to do something so that super deep fandom goes, oh, these guys, and just gets out of here.
Don't worry. The fact that I'm a girl probably turns most of them away.
That's true. No, she's actually right. And you know what's funny about that, Patrick, is you are probably more steeped in deep Star Wars trivia and lore now, living with Spencer, because that is the most Star Wars entrenched house I've ever
His son is named after a Star Wars.
I know.
character.
There's something as Ezra.
Yeah.
You ever say something to someone and they respond and you immediately go like, well, I'm out of my depth.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have even brought it up.
And that's this moment right now.
He started
I literally
he
had
started
a
a sentence with
moment.
Dave Filoni, and you went, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I didn't mean it.
I literally had a moment with Spencer like a week and a half ago where I made a comment about Star Wars and he got a snap response. And I was like, I got to walk. I'm stepping away. Just stepping. I'm not here. That's it.
He's got him in
Walking
the
away.
chamber, so you just gotta walk lightly. is
Everything
what
else has been fine. I do not know enough to talk Star Wars. So
We'll protect you. All strange subjects. Speaking of my other favorite fandom, Lord of the Rings, I finally built my Lego Rivendell that I've had since it like came out a while ago. Thank you. It felt like something I deserve claps for. It was an endeavor. It took me several days to build this thing. I didn't bring it in here because it is so large. It would take up all of the space on my desk in front of my computer, and I would have nowhere to sit.
Sure.
It was
You
very
sit
fun
on your desk to do this?
Well, you know what I
Lauren,
mean. It
that's
would be like right
weird.
in my face because it's humongous. I don't know where I'm going to keep it because it's literally so big. I'm going to have to move things around in my house to have
Can
a place
Binks
to
live
keep
in
it.
it? Have you considered that? Just letting...
If I took out some of the like if I removed the floor, like there's 2 levels of the building. If I took out the second level, he would easily fit inside of it.
Nice.
It is, but I have a small cat. But yes, it is. It's really cool. I loved it's so much more advanced than Legos were when I was a kid. It does say like 18 and up on the box, and I made a lot of fun of that. But I'm like, after doing it, I'm like, I see why now. This was not easy. This is very involved. There are so many tiny pieces. There are lots of like insane engineering components that like if you did not follow the instructions from the very beginning, this will not fit together at the end, and you're gonna regret it. Like there was one part in there are 3 books, like 3 giant books that are like the Fellowship of the Ring, the 2 Towers, and Return of the King sized books that you get when you build this thing. And like somewhere in the middle of the 2 towers, I had to go back like 50 pages because I missed one piece. And I was like, I don't understand why these aren't fitting. I have to just try and figure out what I did wrong.
So
but
this set is here because I'm living with family and my nephew has the set. He's 2 years old and put it together in like 2 hours.
Well, it took me like 4 sittings.
But I was going to say the roof tiles are so cool. To me. That's
I
like
also
my
love the
favorite
trick.
part walking by it. Yeah.
I also love that they show this trick like when you're in the book. It has these like cute little tiles, and they're kind of like if you put these little 1x1 studs on every other stud, kind of like a checkerboard, but then you tilt them diagonally, so it does look like cute little roof tiles. But then they tell you when you get the book, the tip to make them all like straight and line up perfect is you can take one of the like the flatter Legos, like the ones that are like, you know, like 1 out of the 3 thick you need to make the like stack or whatever. You can take one of the long ones, run him in between the rows of the tiles, and it'll straighten them out perfectly. It's very satisfying.
Very nice.
I really liked that little trick. It's just cool. Like there are so many more Lego pieces that exist now than when we played with Legos. Cause like my brother and I built Lord of the Rings sets, but we just made them up and would like paint Legos so that they could like look enough like the characters. And
You guys modified Legos?
yeah, we
That's how I
would
feel.
literally like paint them and stuff, and so that we could make them look like the characters we wanted and things like that.
No,
And
that's a very cool, creative thing to do, but I built it per the instructions.
yeah,
You did
well, we
not
would do
mix
that
sets
first and
I
then
together.
could
take
never
them
buy
apart
one of the
afterwards.
boxes of just like one of the bins just of random like.
That's like
I'm
how
not
I grew
creative
up. I
enough
just
for that.
Yeah, I loved that. But we would like build things like we'd be like, okay, we're both going to make a castle and then we have a war or whatever. You know, like you kind of had a theme, but we're also not
class
being
war?
judged. Yeah, that's exactly what we did when we were little kids. But yeah, really, really cool. I just don't like ever build Legos anymore. I watch a lot of like Lego Masters and that stuff, but I haven't actually built a set in a very long time, mainly because I'm running into the problem of I don't have enough space to keep this stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do with this now that I've built it. It was fun, but it is humongous piece of art to like statue basically
I
to figure out a
genuinely
place to
think
hide.
it's one of the more beautiful Lego sets I've seen in years. I just only now have a frame of reference for it, so I can't
Yeah.
have the amount of reverence for it that it deserves. But I do think
It's
it is
very
an
cool.
absolutely gorgeous set.
The details inside of it when you're like putting it together and the stuff that they thought of is so clever. Like I like just like little things, like there's a little like forge in the back of one of the buildings and it has like a portrait of Celebrimbor in there. I'm like, this is so beautiful. Most people who play with this don't know who that is, don't care who this is, but you took the time to add that in here because people who do know it really love it. Like that's very, very, very cool.
Can
that
I
they did
express
that.
one of my Lego dreams to everybody
Yeah.
here? What I would love to do for someone that has a lot of Lego. I don't have enough Lego to accomplish this, so this will remain a dream for some amount of time. But within Lego, there are some like very iconic properties. Like if you buy any of the
Yeah.
Mario sets, you can just see a couple tiles laying on the ground and you just know they go to a Mario set, right?
Mhm.
And then also I have some very specific Legos like the Steamboat Willie set or something like that.
Mhm.
What I would love to do is do one of the Millennium Falcons where you just stitch together Millennium Falcon from all the pieces. You just download the manual and then just pull pieces from different sets. And when you
Oh.
build the Millennium Falcon, when you get to the interior, there's I think 5 individual rooms.
Mhm.
And I would love every room to be one of those very distinct sets. So do a Mario room, do like
Oh.
a
That's
Steamboat room.
awesome.
That would be
do-
very cool, yeah.
and just build them only from the Lego from those sets, at least for the interior of it. Of course, the
That's
other option
also-
would be if you had enough Mario Lego just to do like an entire Mario Millennium Falcon, which would look rad. And then like you would use little tops of the pipes for all the little circles on the out. It'd be great.
That's actually such a cool idea to have, like, I don't know if they already sell this or whatever, but to have like instruction books that like if you have these 3 Lego sets, you could use that to build this other thing.
So
It's
They
even
probably
like
have
a
that
combination.
like on Lego Ideas or something.
Yeah,
There's an
like
app that
that's a
allows
really
you to
cool
do it,
idea.
yeah.
That's a very cool idea. Like I would love that.
I actually I started down the process of so my nephew has a ton of Lego and we had started as like an uncle nephew thing down the road of just stitching together Millennium Falcon, and we had already put the whole frame together, and then he kind of lost interest, and then like
Yeah.
it's gone. So and then I'm just sitting down here like, no, I didn't want to do
And then
that.
you're like,
That's-
candy kid.
yeah, give
Then
me
you
all
use-
your candy now.
Give me all your Legos and I'm just gonna build the Millennium Falcon. Bye.
So now I gotta find another kid that's got a bunch of Lego who wants to build a Millennium Falcon.
I'm gonna give my uncleship to him. He wants to spend time with me.
On that note, with like there were specific pieces for all of the sets, I was surprised how many pieces were not custom to this and
Yeah.
how they reused things to make
Yeah.
them feel like Lord of the Rings. Aside from like their like the individual characters and like the items that they hold, everything else I think is like reused from stuff. Like the chairs in the little council room are made of sausages and popsicles. It's so cute.
Patrick pointed out the on the Roman Colosseum. The Colosseum, the tower, like the Greco-Roman like columns that make up the Colosseum. The tops of the columns are roller skates. They're just, but they're like that
Yeah,
khaki
yeah, that
cream
shape,
color, right?
yeah.
That cement colored,
And it has a
or
swirl.
stone colored. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's the roller skates. That's all it is, just flipped upside down.
I love that kind of stuff. It's called nice part usage.
I actually do have a term for it. I think Patrick.
Yes,
didn't
it's
you
called
s-
NPU, nice parts
Oh,
usage.
it is called nice part usage. Okay, cool. No, but
I
Lauren,
was-
there's an actual term.
Let the guys talk for a second.
I love, like, once that was pointed out to me, it's one of my favorite things to see in Legos when people come up with stuff like that. It's very, very fun. Because I think that's one of the coolest things about Legos is it is just little plastic squares, but if you use your imagination, you can make them into anything. And so the idea that like even ones that are meant to be a hot dog or a popsicle could be a chair if you look at it the right way. It's just that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
It is true that if you, sorry, side note, I'm reading Chet
Yeah.
Pack's remark, but if you got a Minecraft Lego set, should it only be like 2x2 blocks for the
Yes.
entire
So
set?
there is a Minecraft Lego set. Like I know they
Yeah.
have like regular Lego sets, but they have one now that looks like you can't see because it's too dark. But the question mark block that we have, the Mario question mark block, that's right
Yeah.
back here on this shelf. Where it is like the mini version, they do have a Minecraft set that is just little squares, and it's so
fun.
It's so fun. I'm gonna get well. Cooper's not listening to this right now, I don't think. That's going to be one of Cooper's Christmas gifts, and we'll be putting that together because it's such a cool, it makes up the Minecraft like logo
Guy,
icon.
yeah.
No, not the guy, but like the square. The
yeah,
cube
I know what you're talking about.
with
yeah.
the grass and dirt, but inside it has all the different biomes. And then all
that's
the like
cool.
little 1x1 characters.
That's
that you
very
build to.
cool.
So that's a fun usage
Wait,
of
wait,
it.
is it a Lego property or no?
Yes, it's Lego.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. It is produced by Lego is what I meant to say. Okay.
Yeah, because
They
Lego
do
has
have like a piece now that is like shorter than the regular Legos, but is a perfect square. Like that was one of the pieces that I was like amazed by in this set, where I was like, it is like a perfect square instead of like slightly taller when it's like the one
Huh.
square.
Here, I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about for the people who are
Show us.
okay. Share screen. Here it comes, everybody. 3 and 2 and 1.
Kidding.
This.
Oh, this is really cute.
So you see how it's got all of the. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
It's one of the crafting tables. Sorry, it's not the. But that's the set.
That's
It's a
cool.
crafting table, and then inside it's the world, and these are the worlds. Like it's the different biomes that you have, but they're all just little squares, and it's got all the little characters. Look at like.
They're so cute.
It's adorable.
They're so
that-
tiny.
That is pretty great looking.
And
That
it's
is
gonna
so
go
cool.
so well next to the question mark cube because it's the same size. It's
Yeah.
the same like dimensionality and everything. So
That was
You
a
know
really
what?
cool
now,
set too.
Okay, here's what I would. Okay, so the last thing, and I'm done with Lego. But if like let's say you could do this, but each biome instead like away from Minecraft, you could
Yeah.
do a brick, and each biome was like a cityscape, like that had like iconic landmarks,
yeah.
and then you could buy like 10 or 15 of them and like just construct
Make
all
your
these
own, like,
big blocks
map.
of cityscapes.
Yeah.
Cityscapes, that'd be pretty rad. I would
But-
totally display that.
Now I do think that is the larger scale like city planning of like the main Lego line because they have like different sections of the city.
Right, but they're like they're the
But
actual
it's the
just
full
buildings.
right. But it's the full. I mean, full set. It's like the
Yeah.
full. But like if you did it in this style, but did
Yes,
that would
like-
be so fun. That would be
That'll-
so
Yeah, that would be
because
really, really
you could
cool.
do it with the same, I mean, pretty close to the same complexity as you do like the Lego architecture.
yeah.
It's similar scale to Lego architecture, but just build it into like some type of constraint that you can match across other ones.
I
I
like
think that'd
this.
be pretty rad.
I like this a lot.
Mhm.
They should do a whole
Very, very
show about
cool.
this.
Call Lego Masters.
Well, just
Yeah.
people who are really good at it. I don't know what we would call it.
Yeah. Sounds promising though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lauren, you've had a pretty lucrative around the table. Holy cow.
Yeah, I've got one little reminder.
I know you
That's
do,
it. That's
yeah.
it. And this is
Go
just to say that Arcane is coming back next week. It's going to be a long time before we're back, so I want to tell everybody about this. Just remind you, on November 9th it is coming back. I've been rewatching it. Still just one of the best shows ever. Can't wait to
Thought
see what
it
happens
didn't come
next.
back until December. So what you just
Yeah.
told me, I
We
may
got
not do any of
less
that
than a
stuff
week.
to prep for my 40th. I may just watch Arcane. I'm not going hiking.
Yeah.
I'm not going to reflect on my
No.
life. I'm just going to watch Arcane.
Just on repeat until you turn 40.
they-
It'll be time well spent.
Are they releasing it episodically, or are they just doing the full season dump?
They
Do you
are
know?
doing several chunks of episodes. I don't remember if it's 3 or 4 chunks of like 2 or 3 episodes each. I don't
Keep
remember.
saying the word chunks. That
Chunk,
makes
chunk,
me
chunk.
happy.
Like,
about
okay, so like one group of like 2 or 3 episodes, a second group of 2 or 3 episodes, and then,
And then how
either
many
3
chunks
or
would there
4.
be?
Yeah, 3 or 4 chunks, I think.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly. But I'm so excited it's coming back. Just, man, rewatching it, I just like, it's so good. It's so good. You get a lot out of rewatching it when you kind of know some of this stuff, and like, because it's such a complex story with how the characters weave in and out of each other's stories and stuff. Like, it's just great. I'm
Genuinely,
very,
it is
very,
very
excited
good.
to see the next chunk.
Okay, is that going to be it for
That
you?
is it for me. Let's do some
well,
master
if that's
categories.
It for you, then
It's time for Master Categories!
Are you feeling evilly awakened?
Yes.
Love it.
I was actually not trying to sound like a robot. Wait,
Is there like
that's
an
not the
angel
right thing.
voice?
It's supposed to be, not that.
I like the robot
That's
voice.
what it's supposed to be.
I hate it.
Here we go. Oh,
Keep it on.
I can't get it to turn on. Hang on. I think I have to trigger something. There we go. No, now it's just both things. What the heck? Hang on. How do I get this to go away?
There.
there. Got it. Okay.
It's
Why didn't
hard,
you want to
it's
do the
hard for me to
chipmunk
believe.
voice the whole
You guys
time?
couldn't hear that, right? There was this one time, Patrick. Sorry, this is just a side note on this topic. This soundboard sometimes, like the trigger will stick, and I was in
Yeah.
a meeting with Lytro.
I don't know why I look like a cat right now.
It legitimately was like that, but it kept playing the boo, boo, boo. And I'm like, guys, I am so, they're like, can you mute? I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's doing, I'm not hitting this. Like I had to like hold my hands up.
I would have unplugged the whole thing. Like,
Okay.
so
Okay. Up next, master categories.
you have
Wait,
to
what
keep
movie
that
is
in the
it?
episode. That was so funny.
That's from Kronk and
Oh,
Yzma. What's it called?
It's called Emperor's New Groove.
Thank you. The Kronk and Yzma happy hour. That's what it was.
Famous Disney film, Crunk and Yzma Happy Hour.
If I had been doing it intentionally, I probably would have said that. But I actually started panicking that I had broken this, and I was just gonna have to.
I was getting
live-
really, really excited for a chipmunk voice episode.
Well, anyway.
I was prepared to do so.
I was thinking I'm gonna have to shut down my computer to get this thing to reset, and that's not gonna be great for the flow. Here we go. We like to kick. We're way past that. We're not kicking anything.
Yeah, we don't need to kick it off.
The master category section is when we talk about the dice we rolled on the last episode. Those dice give us our categories. We pick our topics based on those categories. Patrick, I think you rolled television.
yeah. Okay, this is an interesting one because I'm going to go ahead and say now that yes, this is my category. And yes, I'm going to tee this off. But I feel like the stronger opinions about this are about to come from everyone else on the podcast except for me. So I will just frame this conversation, which is that we have the latest season of Only Murders in the Building. And the last episode came out just this past week, October 29th. And teeing up this season, we talked about it during the first part, but this is season 4. Is that correct? Is it 3 or 4?
4. Because
my-
when I watched this, I was like, wait, this is the 4th season? I didn't watch season 3, so I watched both.
It's so crazy. But in this case, the way it's teed off is the 3 main characters, Charles, Oliver, and Mabel. They are heading off to Hollywood because someone wants to make a movie and buy their life rights. But while this is going on, they realize something has happened to Zaz, which is the stunt double. and they rush back home to realize that that Zaz is kind of no more, and that's how it tees off the rest of the season. It's very. I am going through all this now, and it's very shocking. And then there's these like random, really funny moments thrust in between some like genuinely horrifying feeling acting, and it's very interesting. Y'all were talking, Andrew, last time you talked about this, you were talking about the tone of this feeling very different.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally understand the comments. I will say that I've actually enjoyed the season, but getting to revisit it, since you teed this off before, you said you wanted to wrap up your thoughts, because the last time you talked, you said you were on the fence about how you felt. You might like it, you might hate it, but you won't know till you watch a few more episodes, and you have now seen a few more episodes.
Yes.
So where did you ultimately land with it?
This was not my favorite season.
I agree.
Thought that I felt like the story, as much as I appreciated the story of getting, going deeper with some of these other characters, and then having some replayability of some former characters and actors, I did appreciate some of those cameos and things. The show felt like it became too meta. And
I agree.
For me, like it's like when what's his name that I
Deadpool?
No.
I'm just guessing.
No, because I think Deadpool actually executes this at a really, really stellar level. There's a guy who does Wes Anderson. I feel like Wes Anderson's newest film was him trying to out Wes Anderson himself. Like he was like he had drank his own Kool-Aid. I think I gave this critique on
Asteroid
the podcast.
City is the movie you're
Yes,
thinking of.
Asteroid City. It's like
Documentary.
him having the he's trying to be the most Wes Anderson because he's like in on the joke, and because of that, it felt inauthentic. This season felt a little inauthentic.
I do think that was like a little weird with the level of meta-ness, because like it's already a little funky where they talk about that they're in episodes and seasons anyway because they're running a show within a show, but then having a show within a show within a show,
right? It was kind of like putting
broke
a
it for me.
Hat on a
hat.
Yeah.
And like there were some really funny like payoffs with the movie stuff. And can we just go full spoilers for this? Are we doing that?
The season's been over for what?
A few weeks, I think. I don't know when it came out.
It's been over for only 1 week.
Did it literally just end? Okay, we shouldn't spoil it then.
Yeah.
Okay, well, to say that there's a movie in it, I don't feel like is a spoiler.
No, because
that's in the
say that
trailers and stuff
in the
too.
trailer, yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's like
and
one of
it's in the
the
first
setup
episode.
of the season, basically.
Yeah.
And I thought that at first those extra actors really annoyed me, but like I felt like they worked it in better than it was working at first. But it just overall, it just felt like this season had too many things like stuffed into it, and it kind of felt long. I know it's the same length as other seasons, but this is the first time where I'm like, it feels like they were trying to fill time. Like the stuff with Melissa McCarthy, very funny, but nothing to do with the story and didn't really need to be there.
Unless they're setting something up for the next season. And I had those same thoughts.
Yeah, and they're good about bringing characters back. Like they don't just kind of
Yeah.
throw everybody in there without like some intention. And it was a very funny cameo. It was one of the funniest parts of the season. I thought it was very funny, but like it just didn't like when I thought about it later, I'm like, why did we watch that?
Yeah. Yeah, those are my thoughts. This season didn't need to happen. I'm not mad at it. Like this didn't ruin the show, but it wasn't It wasn't my favorite season, and I do think that there's an opportunity with how this season ended for it to kind of come back to the beginning, like where they can kind of reset a little bit. I'm hoping.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping anyway. I hope they don't try to.
I mean, I think that they open
but-
themselves up to restart pretty well every season, given that it's like a new case and they don't like grow a lot necessarily. Like they kind of are always the same characters getting into a new case each time.
This season though did feel like it was a cut above that, and it did feel like it jumped the shark, like almost in the traditional definition of what jumping the shark means.
It was just too many things.
Was that yes?
I felt like there were so many red herrings, so many like plots that like, like I get it. Like the idea is like, it's a mystery. You don't know what's going to pan out, but like every episode had new things instead of like kind of following the same thread a little longer, maybe, which would have worked maybe for me. I don't know. I just thought it was like a lot of stuff crammed into one season, like too many ideas is kind of what
Did
it
you
felt
still
like.
find the three main characters like endearing, like their
Yeah, I
interactions?
love them.
Because-
I think that like it's so obvious to me that everyone making this show is having fun doing it, and that is infectious. Like I will keep watching the show because of that. Like I like the chemistry with everybody. I think it's just fun. It's not my favorite show ever, but like I always enjoy it whenever it comes back.
All right, so if you're doing season 5, then where do you take the show?
I
they
take it,
set it up pretty
literally back
clearly.
to the roots. I think we take it.
Yeah.
I think we take it back to the roots.
Well,
I think we scale
No, but I'm talking
the-
about in terms of scale. Like,
yeah,
where
I
do you
think we
take it?
scale
Yeah.
the scope of the story back down.
Well, they set up a good hook where, and I'm going to try and be as vague as I can about this, where like they're going to stay in the same place, but they've added a lot of literal space and new people to that space, to that one area.
Yeah.
So they can do more within that without it feeling limited. Like in the beginning, it felt really small and it expanded,
beginning.
but now I feel like it's big enough within that space that there's still a lot that they have to do.
You can
no matter
say
what.
that it's in the Arconia because
Yeah.
literally the name of
Okay.
the movie, the name of the show is Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
And,
well,
and
okay.
so
So
far,
like,
it's literally that's been the
okay.
that's
Well,
been the
yeah.
crux
So
of
like
the
they
story.
introduced like the whole other side of the building and all these new
The
people.
West Wing. Or
Yeah.
the,
So like,
whatever it's called, yeah.
like I think that they've literally just doubled their set and like
Their
the possibilities
right.
within just that one building. So to me, it doesn't feel like it will be limiting anymore because like they've added so many things just inside of the actual building.
Yeah, but I think they had to go outside of the
I
building.
do.
a
They had to
bunch
get
on
those people
this-
and then bring them back in.
on this season in order to then scale back. And I'm hoping that's what happens. I hope we don't see more of the movie in the next season. That's
I don't think. I think there's going to be a joke about it. I bet the actors will come back as a cameo, but like a 1-episode cameo would be my guess.
I think you have to replace the main characters with 2 older women and 1 young man. I think just make this.
I was like, who would you pick in that case?
Every few seasons, 3 new people.
Just three
Some
new people.
combination.
Make
yeah, just
it
swap it out.
make it like a what are they an anthology series.
I
Just
really
make it
want to
an
think about
anthology.
who would be the like 2
Like,
women
if you
and,
flipped
and
it,
young
who you would
man.
put?
Yeah. I don't know who that would be, but I'm
of
going to
equal
think about it.
stature and age.
Yeah.
and like
Yes.
I mean,
uh,
Meryl Streep would have been great, but I feel like that's cheating.
You know what's funny is I would
That's
never
not
would have
cheating.
picked Meryl Streep because I don't see.
I would
her
also
as
assume she's
a-
too busy for this shit. Like,
I just don't see her as a comedic actress.
she's so
she
good.
clearly
She can do
clearly is
anything.
good, but I just don't see her that way.
Yeah.
I would bring in gosh, what's her name? Mary Poppins.
Julie Andrews?
Julie
No.
Andrews.
Is that
would do
right?
great. Yes.
Okay.
Only because I now
I was like,
have
wait,
a
no,
new,
she's Sound of Music.
I now well, she's both.
But I just had a moment.
People can be in 2 things now.
What? The
Women
actors?
especially. Yeah.
Hold on. Helen Mirren.
Judy Dench.
That's got to be a good one. Judi Dench might be too.
She's
I
too
hate to
old.
say this, but she's like
Yeah,
90.
honestly.
Well, so is Julie Andrews, but here's why I say
I wish
Julie
Maggie
Andrews.
Smith could have done it because she, I think, would have been great because
Julie
she's like
Andrews
so
is,
funny.
is so irreverent. She was on with Julie Louis Dreyfus for the Wiser Than Me podcast, and I was telling you about
Yeah.
like she's so irreverent. She loves swear words, and it's
Ooh,
so
Jane
she's
Fonda
so
would be
opposite
another
of
good
what
one.
I knew of her. So I just want to see her in that role.
It needs to who's another like Disney Channel. Wasn't Selena Gomez like Disney Channel?
Yeah, she was a Wizard of Waverly.
Oh, Zac
Place.
Efron is like the Disney boy that I think of.
Ooh, Zac
but-
Efron.
That's great.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Zac
I
Efron.
would probably watch this show.
Yeah, there we go. That's
I
it.
would watch that.
There's
I'd
a new
watch
season. You're welcome. All right, Only Murders in the Building. So it's all streaming now. So if you want to just go through it, like I said, the first there were some moments to me that felt heavier in this season than previous seasons.
Yes.
Yes.
Like
There was
there
some depression stuff that they dealt with, and some like
There's
real
some really
loss.
good. I thought those
mourning.
moments were great. Also, like they were very
Sure.
well done. Yeah.
but it was just was more than I expected getting into it based on the previous season. So maybe be prepared for that. But otherwise, I mean, I don't think anything could ever make me not want to watch Steve Martin and Martin Short acting alongside of each other. So it's
It makes me all the more want to come out there in what is it?
January.
It's like January to come
February,
see them
whatever it is,
in Chattanooga.
Are they coming together like on tour?
Yeah,
they've been touring. They were in San Antonio a month and a half ago or something like that, and I missed
I
it.
didn't know that.
On Netflix, they have one of their touring shows you can watch now if you want to check it out. And I think they've just been touring that. I don't know if it's the same show or how it's evolved, but they've been doing it for a year.
Yeah, did this happen because of Only Murders, or like were they doing this before that?
I
wonder.
No. So they've been doing this for years. They've been doing this like almost vaudevillian style like variety show. And this is an actual documentary on the Steve Martin the Steve Martin documentary that's on Apple Plus. They talk about it. And they go through some of that, and
this
makes sense why the two of them are like so natural with each other. Like
it's cheating at this point. I mean, whenever they get paired up for an award show or in a commercial or something like that, for everyone else involved, that has to be the easiest gig ever because they are just going to own it and just do their thing.
It's
just always so impressive to watch. Yeah,
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Lauren,
it's my turn.
It is.
All right, so I got books present, and so I'm just going to tell you guys what book I've been reading. So I'm reading one of the many spin-offs of Game of Thrones, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. This is the show that's coming out in 2025, I believe.
That's written by George R.R. Martin?
Yeah.
So wait,
himself.
He's written spin-offs, but he hasn't finished the actual series?
Yeah, I will never see Winds of Winter, but this is a great book.
I had no idea that he wrote other books and still hasn't finished the actual series.
To be honest, I mean, I know that he wrote Fire and Blood, the one that House of the Dragon is based off of after book 5, but I don't know when this one was written. I think it was written in the middle of the other ones.
Here's the thing. He's done with the book. I think
he's never going to write them. No.
I think he's finished it. And I think what you do is you sit on it. You just wait till you that's your last lifeline.
Wait till your HBO checks stop coming in.
Yeah, when all that's finished, you've reached complete irrelevance. Hey, I found this. Boom, you're back. It's all back. It's so easy.
Back, baby.
Yeah. I don't know if they're ever going to run out of material at this rate because they're adapting everything, but who knows? But this is the next adaptation, so I wanted to get ahead and read this one. And I am honestly surprised that this wasn't the choice of what to bring back first after Game of Thrones.
You think it's better?
It's so much easier.
Okay.
In so many ways, as far as like adapting it, it's easier. It's a much simpler story than most other Game of Thrones things. The other ones are a lot of like political intrigue. You need to know a million characters. You have to follow all of this stuff. This book is just about a knight and his squire who go around in Westeros and are having adventures. If the knight doesn't know about it, the kid will tell him about it right away. So
it's like a spaghetti western.
Yes, it's
That's
really,
fun.
really fun. I love it. And like the twists that they kind of have on the stories that they're having are really like are what feels like the George R.R. Martin part of this to me. Because like there's kind of like longer chapters and they kind of make up like all these short stories that add up into the novel. And like there's always like a twist in them where it's like, oh yes, the classic knight story. I know this one. They're going to do this. And then there's like something that happens and I'm like, this is brilliant. George R.R. Martin's so smart. Like, it's just really, like, fun and, like, subverts expectations in the right kind of way. And, like, it's also just, like, a fun buddy story of, like, traveling around. And, like, it's to me, it's just, like, if they had done this first, it just would have been a no-brainer to, like, bring people back onto their side after Game of Thrones. What's up?
I have a point of order. Do you think maybe they considered it, but they didn't want to do it because it would feel too much like Mandalorian?
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
Because there was some
because it would have been like 3 years ago.
It would have been right around the exact same time.
I think that's very fair. I'm sure that they had good reasons to decide to do the other one first and wait till later. This is like not as showy as House of the Dragon is. Like, there's no dragons so far.
Yeah,
like
it's a smaller scale.
I have 80 pages left and there's no
Raised.
dragons. There are big battles and stuff, but like, so it would have had some of those moments that people liked about Game of Thrones, but it doesn't have some of the huge expensive spectacle that goes into and like some of the battles are like 50 people maybe. You know, like it's not like a war, it's a battle. Like it's a little more like
Lauren, every life matters.
I'm not saying
Just
that.
like-
I'm just trying to explain like the scale of how many people are fighting is much smaller. So when you're talking about the budget of a production, like it would be significantly smaller. That's funny. Yes.
No, just the words are 3 times the font
Yeah,
size.
there's very large. And then another really fun thing about this book, in my opinion, is that it's illustrated. I
Oh,
love
fun.
books that do this, where the like illustrations are built into the story. They just kind of weave in and out of the text.
Patrick,
like not
you can read this one.
not like some have like full page spreads. Like there's some just little spot illustrations and stuff. But I just really like when books do that. It always makes me happy.
Yeah.
And it feels like part of this like that kind of like, you know, like what is it, like the illuminated manuscripts or like this like oral like story that's like passed down for forever. And so it's like the stories that go with that kind of stuff. And it's just like these kind of like woodblock style drawings. I just really enjoy all of that kind of like world building stuff to
I
do.
agree with that. Another take on that though is that is an element of control that the author is employing over you by not allowing your imagination to decide what these characters look like.
Well, there's probably a version that comes without pictures, but like I guess.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But my point is
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
We've read these books. So we've read these books. We've talked about it on the show, the ACOTAR series, right? Like A Court of Thorns and Roses.
I think
and,
I've only read the first book, but I did not talk about it because I didn't like it very much.
Oh, I read all 5 of them, and
I think the first book was not good, and
the
well,
first book was
we can get into that.
The first book was fine. The books
Beauty and
get
the
progressively
Beast.
better. The book 5 is for sure the best. Anyway, it doesn't matter. My point is, Becca was talking about something and she showed me something. I'm like, am I supposed to know who that is? It was like a visual on her phone or something. Oh no, it was a coloring book. And I'm like, am I supposed to know who that is? She's like, yeah, because that's blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but we never see what they look like. This is just someone's interpretation. She's like, yeah, but they describe it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But if the author is employing these illustrations in the actual book, then that would imply to me, I'm not allowed to fantasize what this character would look like. I am now being told this is what this character is.
Well, but couldn't another interpretation
Another interpretation.
Could that maybe be that by the book showing you, it allows your fantasies to be more vivid? Because
I was
now
like, let me
have
tell you,
reference?
if ACOTAR had pictures, it might be better.
I know why, and I know why you're saying that. And Lauren, that's just gross.
That's fine.
These books have sex, Lauren.
I know.
And I only know that because Mackenzie told me about it.
And you wouldn't know that from reading the first book.
That's true. It definitely
There's like
increases.
talking about smooching.
It's kind of like the
Anyway.
first half of Bridgerton. Very different. from
It
the
was
second
very
half of
that. I was
Bridgerton.
like expecting a lot, and it was not there.
Lauren, just skip to read book 5.
I know, I need to
and,
skip later,
and
yeah.
you'll be satiated. Just read book 5. Just trust me.
Great choice of words.
Anyway, so I don't.
That is
I
a fun.
don't
That's
hate-
an interesting interpretation.
I don't.
Yeah,
hate
I've
illustrated
never
things.
heard that before. I think you're
Controlling
wrong,
the-
Andrew.
It's not a wrong.
Do you
it's not
say
a
that
wrong or
because
right.
you pictured the character very different than how this picture looked? I'm just curious because,
think
like,
I
when I read a
just-
book, I imagine it like a movie in my head.
Me too. I do too.
So, like, if they say like the character has green eyes and brown hair, I'm picturing dude, green eyes, brown hair, whatever. You know, like,
maybe
and then I add,
here's my biggest issue. The first thing that I saw of these characters in this book series was a coloring book. So like so
No
much
colors.
of what was being whoever it was that illustrated this took the description of these characters and brought these things into being. So much of the description that happens in the book is hair color, eye color, skin tone,
like height,
things like that. That when you're looking at them in literal black and white like line drawings, that to me is a total disconnect. if I had seen like their colored version first, then maybe I would have been like, oh yeah, that's so and so because of this and this. But I'm looking at this and she's like, well, that's obviously Feyre. Why is that obviously Feyre? How does she look?
Yeah, and that's
any
like not a
different?
character that I feel like has a vivid description. Like
Exactly. So like anyway, I'm not saying that I even buy into what I was just saying. I was just pointing out that
just
is
as a theory.
yeah, that is another interpretation of like the author is removing the opportunity for me to put my own spin on what that character looks like.
I think like selfishly, just because I'm an illustrator, I do love books that have extra illustrations and stuff like that. I just really love it. Like Stardust is another book that does that, and I just love that. It's also Charles Vess, my favorite artist, so like just all good all around. But I just think it's fun. It just like I don't read very many books with pictures anymore, so it just kind of makes me happy to see the little extra illustrations. And there's a lot of them, which is cool.
My first thought is always along the lines of like, oh, sweet, I don't have to read half of this page.
Yeah, your word count goes down.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is a very like reasonable book. It's like 350 pages, and there are lots of pictures, so it's pretty easy to read. Very fun to read. Really recommend A Knight of the Seven
It's
Kingdoms.
basically 300 pages.
Yeah, it's
That's
probably
basically-
fair. Yeah,
That's easy. That's easy enough.
but yeah, really good book.
Anyone can do that, except for the illiterates. And our hearts and minds go out to them. Hearts and prayers, not hearts and minds. Our minds.
Thoughts
don't
and
go out to
prayers.
them.
Thoughts and
Something
prayers.
about saying the illiterates
illiterates.
sounds so much harsher.
That
than
was
saying-
really
aggressive. It feels aggressive. Okay, well, let's soften the tone a little bit.
gosh.
We're gonna do trivia, and you guys can play along. Take a second to go grab a.
Should we
let's-
roll out of here? Should we?
No, let's leave it in, Patrick. Let's leave it in. Do you want to edit this thing out? Just leave the thing in. It's
I
fine.
do want to edit it out because
Yeah, we always edit out trivia.
It's always this weird thing where like there's these gaps while people are thinking and
It's
writing
fine.
and like how do you
People
edit
know
that
what
on
they're getting into.
There's also a
so
30-second
much-
skip button.
creates so much work.
No, it's fine. It's
All right,
fine.
I'm cutting all this out, but you go and set up like I'm not.
We're gonna play trivia, and this is because now that it's November, apparently we don't get to have November anymore. November
No.
is now just Christmas time. Our
Yes.
Christmas tree is up
Dude.
in the living room.
Driving
It's the
around
first
town
time.
was a disturbing amount of Christmas lights and Christmas decorations. Not on people's houses, like city decorations. They're
Sure.
out on November 1st.
Well, those are paid for, and if you don't put them up longer, then you're not getting your money's worth.
That's true.
November
You're
1st.
Your tax stuff. November 1st.
Golly.
Lauren is holding on to
Illiterates!
Okay, so because of that, we're going to do a Christmas-ween trivia. So half of the questions are going to be Halloween trivia, half of the questions are going to be Christmas trivia. So the first 10 will be Halloween, the second 10 will be Christmas. Did I say that?
Okay.
I said that. Okay. So number your paper 1 through 10, and then number your paper 1 through 10 again.
Yeah, it's getting edited
and
out. All right,
we're going to
continue.
do this. And here's what we do. If you're playing along with us, if you're one of the people joining us right now, if you're playing along, don't shout out your answer right away. We're going to go through all the questions, then we'll go back and we will we'll answer them together. Okay. Some of these are going to be really easy. Some of these may be tricky. We'll see how this goes. All right. So Halloween trivia. Here we go. Question number 1. What vegetable was originally used to carve jack-o'-lanterns before pumpkins became popular?
Thank you, Stuff I Learned in History Class podcast, for telling me the answer to this last week.
Last week? Mm-hmm. So that's fresh on your mind. Okay.
Yep.
That question again, what vegetable was originally used to carve jack-o'-lanterns before pumpkins became popular? All right. Question number 2. Which real-life figure inspired the character of Dracula in Bram Stoker's 1897 novel?
All right.
Which real-life figure inspired the character of Dracula in Bram Stoker's 1897 novel? Question number 3. In which year did the first Halloween film, directed by John Carpenter, release?
The first one?
Mm-hmm. In which year did the first Halloween film directed by John Carpenter release?
I have no idea.
I'll give you a hint. It was in the previous century.
Well, that's thanks.
I'll give you a 1 in
Actually-
10. I'll give you a 1 in 10 shot. It
No,
was
no,
in-
no, don't.
No,
don't,
it's fine,
don't,
it's
don't.
fine.
Stop.
I don't know everything.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's shocking.
Question number 4. Which animal is considered a traditional Halloween symbol and is often associated with witches? Which animal is considered a traditional Halloween symbol and is often associated with witches? Question number 5. The town of Sleepy Hollow is famous for which Halloween legend?
I seriously almost wrote The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
But yet you say you don't know everything? What?
I was thinking of the movie.
The town of Sleepy Hollow is famous for which Halloween legend? Question number 6. What ancient civilization first used the skulls of animals as a form of Halloween decoration? Which
say that again?
ancient civilization first used the skulls of animals as a form of Halloween decoration?
I'm not sure. I totally.
And
get
I'll
that
say,
question's
if you
antsy.
know the answer
Yeah.
to this, you will likely know the answer to the next question. But knowing the answer to the next question does not mean you definitely know the answer to this one.
Okay, clear.
But if you know the answer to this one, this current one, this next one, I'm sure you know. Which is this? Question number 7. In which country did the tradition of Halloween originate?
They said this in that podcast, and now I don't remember.
In which
already, but
country did the tradition of Halloween originate?
I think I remembered.
Question number 8. What candy is known as the candy of Halloween, according to a popular song?
What?
What candy is known as the candy of Halloween, according to a popular song?
Oh. That one's really throwing me off.
I think Patrick got it.
What's going to
Question number 9. Which famous magician died on Halloween in 1926? The answer is Chris Angel. He's been dead the whole
time?
Which famous
Oh, I totally
magician?
just hold on. Stop. I just wrote someone down that's alive. I wrote him down and was like, no, he's still alive. Not him.
Okay, which famous magician died on Halloween in 1926? This is a good question.
I don't know
mean,
the answer, but I think I made a good guess.
Tooting horns. I think I wouldn't have known this, but I would have guessed this.
Yeah.
All right. Final question of the Halloween portion of our trivia. Which horror film features a group of kids dressed as ghosts and demons as part of a cult ritual? Which horror film features a group of kids dressed as ghosts and demons as part of a cult ritual?
Is Scooby-Doo considered a horror film?
Depends on
Yeah, it was like
if
how
you
far
think
is
bad
horror?
CG is scary. I can give you one hint if you guys would
Yeah, I would like
want
it.
one hint.
Yeah,
the movie
sure.
was in 2007. So think of a slightly newer film. This wouldn't be any of the classic stuff.
21
say the
years
question
ago?
one
It's
last time?
newer? Wait, how
Newer
many
than
years?
like
That doesn't make
yeah.
sense.
The question is which horror film features a
27?
group of kids
7,
dressed
14?
as ghosts
17.
and demons as part of a cult ritual?
17. What's wrong?
2007. I can't think of anything.
Okay, do you guys have any?
I'd have been 20.
I
wasn't
say
watching
that's the
horror movies
2007 because the film I would have thought of initially was before that, and it would have been like Halloween 3.
Yeah, I can't really.
It's not Halloween 3, so like it's in my head it would have been the other one, and it's the other one. So that's why.
All
I
right,
did
no
mine.
idea. Let's
write
go.
a random guess. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here's the answers to the first set. Here we go. What vegetable was originally used to carve jack-o'-lanterns before pumpkins became popular? Patrick, what do you think it is before Lauren tells us the actual
A
answer?
squash.
Close. Lauren,
I
what was
believe
it?
it's a turnip.
It is a turnip. In fact, it
Yay.
was. Gourd job.
Yay.
Everybody
Well,
get
a
it?
squash is also a gourd, so.
I know, but it's
But it's a turnip,
specifically.
which is
Okay.
And I already had gourd job loaded in the chamber, Patrick. Regardless of what you said. So,
I thought of it when I wrote the question.
which real life figure inspired the character of Dracula in Bram Stoker's 1897 novel?
I have a good
Gabe
guess.
from
I
The
think.
Office.
That's good.
I think it's
Lauren?
Vlad the Impaler.
It is Vlad the Impaler.
Yes.
Good job, Lauren.
Golly.
Nice job, Kreider. Sorry about the Halloween 3. Sorry about that.
No, I did not get all of these questions right because there's many guesses.
All right. Question number 3. In which year did the first Halloween film directed by John Carpenter release? Patrick, you didn't want the hint,
I
so
just
what's your
guessed.
answer?
1974.
Ooh, that's close. Lauren, do you have
I
a...
said 89, but I
It was
now think that's wrong.
1978.
Okay, that's way earlier than I
1978.
thought.
Yeah.
Way earlier.
Ooh, Kreider, so close. Jedi, so close.
1979
I actually watched that
meters?
like pretty recently for the first time and was surprised how scary it is. There are no special effects. It's all just like the music and the camera angles, and it's really scary.
It's... Patrick, remember when we went and saw the premiere with like Jamie Lee Curtis and that was of the newer one? That was
I did,
In
so-
1979.
back in 1979. I was just 14 years old back then.
Let's see. You can
We
go
saw
ahead.
we saw the first Bloomhouse one, and we saw it on premiere night at the Draft House, and they did they had like the cast come out and like Jamie Lee Curtis. That was when I realized how attracted I was to Jamie Lee Curtis. as an older woman, she's nice.
She's a hot lady.
Okay, here we go. Question number 4. Which animal is considered a traditional Halloween symbol and is often associated with witches?
A black cat.
Patrick?
Yeah, it's a black cat. That's the only
Yeah,
one
you
I've
got
known.
it.
of
That
all
is
of these.
correct.
That's
That
it.
is correct.
That's it.
Question number 5. If you wrote cat, we'll give you cat. That's fine. That's
No,
fine.
we won't. Jedi will
Okay,
will not.
Patrick says
They
no.
have to be black.
They have to be black. It's not. This
It's not a
isn't
calico cat.
cats.
It's not a Siamese cat.
Yeah. This is a perfect instance of why
this
does it
is
gotta
not-
be black? It does have to be black.
It's not
In this scenario, it does
Rumpel
have to be
Stinker or
black.
something.
Okay, here we go. The town of Sleepy Hollow is famous for which Halloween legend, Patrick?
The Headless Horseman,
Yes. The legend of the Headless Horseman.
which I only know because of the Hallows Eve celebration that goes on in Warcraft every year, where you fight the Headless Horseman.
Oh my
that's
gosh.
cool.
All I was thinking of was the Tim Burton movie.
No,
Christopher Walken.
And Jonathan Depp.
Yes.
Sir Jonathan Depp. All right. Question number 6. What ancient civilization first used the skulls of animals as a form of Halloween decoration?
Lauren.
I don't know if I got this right, but I guess druids or pagans.
It's not.
I don't know what
druids or
I
pagans.
did not I
Although
felt the wording of was
you could argue that pagans existed
I guess yeah, I didn't
in
know
every sect of person.
I
but-
crossed that out and wrote druids, but I was confused with how this was worded sort of, but keep going.
Jedi
Only-
says druids as well.
Only one ancient civilization exists that I'm aware of, and that was the Incans.
The Incans. It is exactly the Incans.
I almost said
Yes.
Vikings.
It's
I
not.
don't
It's
think
not the
that's
Incans.
true.
It's not the Incans. It's the Celts, or the Celtic.
Oh, Vikings
people.
would have been close.
Ah.
Oh, I should have
That's
known that from the other
that's
one.
gonna make
I got
the next question
one.
a bit tough for me.
Like I said, if you knew the answer
I
to
did-
this,
I
then
did
you
get
would
this-
for sure know the answer to this next
Before
one,
you
which
tell
is
us the answer, can we adjust to maybe what we said since you haven't
Yeah.
said the answer?
go for
No,
it. Yeah.
no,
yeah. Lauren,
no.
Lauren, you are soundly ahead.
I'm not gonna win on Christmas side, so
That's true.
I'm
Well, I
not
don't
going to
know.
win
I
on
th- I think-
any side.
I think you might. You guys are both fine.
I'm over here texting
Yeah.
Will for help right now.
Oh, that's the state. He is.
this
in
is
a
like the
state
one
now.
time where like it's okay to cheat if you ask Will.
Patrick, with your adjustment, in which country did the tradition of Halloween originate?
I'm going to guess Ireland.
That is
That's
correct.
correct.
That is
Yes.
correct. I was shocked
It's
by
not
that. I did
going
not know
well.
And with that one, I have won.
I learned that on that same podcast. So Stuff You Missed in History Class is a very informative show.
Yeah, apparently.
I thought you were trying to
all right.
write Richard Iowati's name, and that's how close you got, Kreider. That's how I read that.
That took me so long to
Okay.
figure out that was short for Are You Afraid of the Dark?
That took me, I didn't know until you just said it. So,
I had to, I was like, what the hell does this mean?
all right, here we go. What candy is known as the candy of Halloween, according to a popular song? I think you know this, Patrick. I'm going to let you guess this one first.
I just
Candy
guessed.
corn. I have no idea.
Candy corn.
That was my guess.
It is candy corn.
What song is this?
my
Because they
biggest-
suck. Candy
my
corn is
big-
awful.
Hang on.
Shut your mouth.
Hang on. I'm sad that Patrick and Mackenzie moved away because they're my friends.
Yeah.
Just slightly below the sadness of them not being here because they're my friends is that I now have to purchase my own candy corn.
We always kept it out.
The Hill House is always stocked with candy corn, starting like basically August 15th. You guys start having candy corn.
You're
Yeah,
like
it's-
me and pumpkin spice creamer.
Candy corn. I love it. All
I
right.
hate candy corn.
And surprisingly low
What is
calorie
the
and
song
sugar,
though?
by
What is the song that it's
the way. I don't
referencing?
know. I don't know.
This is Halloween. Candy corn is the candy.
Candy corn is the king. That would have been good.
Yeah, it seems like it was like very low hanging fruit there, but you decided to just make. You're like what's his name from Parks and Rec that Ben Schwartz plays.
John Ralphio.
John Ralphio, where he ruins every rap at the end. Like he just always adds another word that
Like
that
a whole
would've been
nother
fun.
sentence.
Yes,
Like, yeah.
exactly. All right.
That was funny.
Will, stop. It tastes just like eating a payday. This is like the smartest thing
I hate
ever.
them.
It's my favorite candy bar. And if you mix them,
Oh, Payday's okay,
it's so
but
good.
I don't like candy corn at all.
Your
My
students
students
are the
mocked
worst.
up. What does that mean?
No, they mocked. I'm assuming he means they mocked the snack.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe they made a
Is that
fake
thing?
packaging for this like candy corn peanuts mixed.
Okay.
No, I think he says he mocked him.
Oh, they mocked me. Okay.
Oh,
My students mocked up, man.
Well,
Okay,
actually,
that's
I
an
feel like
interesting
he just
take.
spelled me the way Will
Well,
I am
Will-
would spell it, referring to himself.
Yes. Oh gosh, here we go. All right. Question number 9. Which famous magician died on Halloween in 1926? think
I
you
just
guys
guessed Houdini.
Patrick, do you have a guess?
Who's the guy that got eaten by that tiger?
That's he didn't die, and it's Roy,
not a
Siegfried, and Roy. but
Siegfried
no
and
last
Roy-
names. Roy is the
weren't
one
ma-
who got bitten.
But they
He's
weren't
still
magicians.
alive? Is that not
Yes.
the craziest trick of all?
He is alive. My mom did that as a costume with her boyfriend when this happened. Like
That's inappropriate.
But hang on, wait.
she was the tiger, and he had his neck bit.
Siegfried and Roy were just like a circus act, weren't they? They weren't magicians.
No, they're magicians. They're fully
Okay.
magicians.
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
they just
Sorry.
did tricks
I'm
with
sorry.
tigers.
All right. It was in
Magic
fact,
tricks with tigers
It was
naturally.
Houdini. It was Houdini.
Yay!
yes.
I wrote down Houdini because it's the only dead magician that I know. Is
It was also
Houdini.
like, yeah, in 1927. I'm like, who's gonna be like other famous magicians? Do you know from that?
The one I wrote down first, I was trying to think of Houdini. I wrote down David Copperfield, and then was like, oh no.
He's still alive. He
very
was
much alive,
actually
even though he's trying basically to die. But
there was like a thing this year, I think it's this year, where he's gonna make the moon disappear, and it was gonna be like a televised special. And I saw ads for it, and then it just stopped being
I thought
advertised.
he got. Hold on, let me look this up real quick because before I say something,
this is my favorite.
I need to. Hold on.
They were animal handlers.
so
The
good.
tigers were musicians. That's really good.
This is my favorite thing in the world. Now.
Why do you keep saying that Siegfried and Roy are dead?
They're
And why are
not
you
dead.
why are you directing it at me, Jedi? Patrick
I
is
don't
the one
think
talking
I'm the one
about
who. I
Siegfried and
definitely
Roy.
think that they're alive.
Oh
No, one of them's for sure dead.
I was.
but he
right.
didn't. They did not die from that tiger attack.
No, they were mugged later.
Copperfield's been accused of like being inappropriate with like 15 women.
So that's
This-
why they
That-
just
that
stopped.
might
Of
be
all,
the
like I
reason
would
they
have really
disappeared.
expected that from Chris Angel and less from David Copperfield, but it's not surprising.
Yeah, the Ed Hardy genes are what tips you off from the Chris Angel thing. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. For anyone
Who
who's
here
wearing Ed
has
Hardy,
the
I don't know
store
if-
buckle?
okay, here we go. I actually
I own
went
so
in-
many clothes from Buckle.
I went into Buckle on Friday trying to find some khaki pants, and then
They have
I
really
walked
cool
in-
shoes
I was
there.
in there for about 45 seconds and went, nothing here is going to be anything I'm going to wear, and I turned around and walked out. Okay. Which horror film, this is the 10th question, which horror film features a group of kids dressed as ghosts and demons as part of a cult ritual? Does anyone have the answer?
Okay, I put South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut.
I wrote the Babadook.
No. Does anyone in chat know what film we're talking about here? It is not
It turns
Halloween.
out that's from 1999. That's too long. Aren't
Not
they like?
Monster.
I know it wasn't the film, but if I remember right in that film, there is like a cult sacrifice thing with crazy like animals in the woods. It's like super bizarre.
It is, in fact, not trick or treat, but trick or
Trick
treat.
or treat.
Yes.
You know that this is the one genre I do.
I was like, I
Just
actually didn't watch horror
completely
movies
not
back
watch.
then, so I did not know
Yeah.
this one.
So
But that's
nice
okay.
job. All right, so tally up your score for that, and then we're gonna jump into. You're at 7, Lauren. That's pretty
Mm-hmm.
good. Patrick, what are you at?
Via cheating,
Yeah, counting the one that we
No
gave you.
cheating.
Yeah.
I'm at 5 with cheating. If I don't get to cheat, I'm at 4.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll
So
see how this. If
5.
it comes down to 1, then we may have to question whether or not we allow the cheating. But
But
for
otherwise,
now,
I keep
All right,
the
all right.
cheating.
okay. Here we go.
Counting the ones I gave.
This looks like it's like a pretty close race. Like Jedi
Yeah,
and
right.
Kreider are right where you guys are. So that says something.
Ready to
All
go.
right, here we go. Christmas. I just tried
Christmas cream.
I just tried to scroll down on my physical notepad. That's how much muscle memory is.
I would expect
so-
that from Cooper, but not from you.
Gosh. Okay. All right. Christmas trivia question 1. In the 1823 poem A Visit from St. Nicholas, which 2 reindeer are mentioned first? Which 2 reindeer are mentioned first?
Did the names change at all between 18 whenever and now?
I will say, no, they don't.
Isn't this like the poem that Nightmare Before Christmas is sort of based off of? Like the one that they sort of copy? Just the beginning part?
I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
I don't have that trivia.
Well, like all of Nightmare Before Christmas is like kind of framed as like that poem, but it's
Yeah.
like obviously like a creepy twist or whatever.
Do we all
but,
assume
yeah.
that Vixen is a girl? Do reindeer have to be
Are you
boys?
Googling stuff?
No, I know the reindeer names. I'm not. Are you
Well,
kidding?
we'll find out how much you know in just a second, Patrick.
But what I'm saying is the name.
It didn't say
it
which
does-
of the
it
first 2
does-
boy reindeers.
I
does
didn't.
imply-
That has nothing to do with my
It
question.
does. I would say the name Vixen does imply
It's a lady.
it's a female, but
But
I
if it's
think
a
that's just
reindeer, does that have to be a boy?
I was like, in all the
It's not a
pictures, they all have
rainbow.
antlers.
Reindeer.
Reindeer.
Rainbow.
That's a great question.
Okay.
Is it though? No, because they're boys.
I believe that. Well, okay, in
I
all the
think- I actually
pictures,
don't think it's a
in all
great
the
question
pictures,
at
they
all.
have antlers, and only males have antlers. So if in that
Yes.
case,
That's a
they're all
question.
dudes.
Do you think Vixen is? I'm saying it's a perfectly fine guy's name, but
Yeah.
for some
it
reason I
does
just
imply-
imagined that would be a girl.
Yeah.
And I assumed that Santa has a mix of boy and girl
Would you say a mixin?
workers, employees.
Um,
Oh.
A very diverse group of reindeer pulling a sleigh.
Vixen.
it's
got
Vic's
it.
son.
I misunderstood. They have no respect for
Mantlers.
him. They have no respect for him, so they will not
His
call him
name's,
by his name.
his name's actually Donnie.
That's Dasher. That's Dancer. That's Vic's son.
Don't worry about getting to know him.
He doesn't play any reindeer games either.
No. Okay. Question number 2. What was
I
the
think I'm
first?
cheating looking up reindeer names. It's ridiculous.
You were looking at your phone.
That's where my list is.
Well, I have
Yeah, he's-
paper.
Okay.
Oh, I can't afford paper. I'm unemployed.
Did you say I'm not a big boy?
I have a feeling that a computer is slightly more
unemployed.
expensive than this
Oh,
notebook.
I'm unemployed. Yeah. Okay.
I was
Question-
unemployed for 3 days.
Question number 2. What was the first company to use Santa Claus in advertising? What was the first company to use Santa Claus in advertising?
I mean, it has to be right. Crystal. burgers, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yeah.
They were the first.
They led in
They really put Santa on the map.
Question number 3. Which country is credited as starting the tradition of the Christmas tree? Which country is credited with starting the tradition of the Christmas tree? I would use a sound effect on my board, but I'm afraid I will break it.
I wish I had listened to a Christmas episode already.
Question number 4. What Christmas-themed ballet premiered in 1892 with music by Petr Hilvik Tlixinvisky? I don't know.
I'm sure that's exactly how it's pronounced.
Which Christmas-themed ballet premiered in 1892 with music by Piotr Tlixinvisky?
Very excited to see it broadcast again.
Okay. Yeah, you're just typing the name. That doesn't help me know how to say it.
Oh, Tchaikovsky?
Oh, that actually does help me know how to say it.
It's like Beethoven in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Jedi.
Jedi probably knew.
Wow.
Hey,
Honestly,
hey, Jedi. You can just chill out, buddy. You can just chill out. Not all of us are into operas and know how to say names.
what music genre did you say that was?
Shut up. Okay. I mean, I earned that one for sure, but everyone can just calm down. All right.
That was really funny.
Question number 5. What European country is credited with creating the tradition of Advent calendars? Advent calendars.
Is this different than the previous answer?
Well, the other answer was which country is credited with starting the tradition of Christmas trees?
Yes, and I want to know if those are the same answer or different answers.
That's a great question to ask after we've given the
just
answers.
for light cheating. No, I don't know the answer.
Well, okay, here's a
likes
hint for you.
surprises?
Is the other answer that you gave a European country?
Yes.
Okay, well,
So
this
it might
one
be
is a
wrong.
European country, so that's all I'll say about that. Question number 6. In the movie It's a Wonderful Life, what is the name of the angel who helps George Bailey?
Text
And
me,
this
Mackenzie.
one-
Tell me.
This one I'm going to say you can get a bonus point on this one. First name is all we need, but if you get first and last name correct, you will get a bonus point.
That made this question harder.
Well, no, the question's the same. You'll still get 1 point if you get the right answer.
Yes, but
But
I
you can
assumed it
get
was
a-
like a biblical angel, so it was narrowing down the amount of names possible. But if I have a last name, it couldn't possibly be one of those.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't know the answer to if you don't know
I've
the
never
first
seen this
part-
movie, so
Oh.
I have seen it.
In the movie It's a Wonderful Life,
Not helpful.
what is the famous name? I'm adding the word famous because it's people just culturally seem
no,
to
I'm
know
aware
this.
this is a very famous movie, but I've never read it.
What is the name
I mean,
of the
watched
angel
it.
who helps George Bailey?
I mean, if you're gonna guess an angel name, Gabriel's a good guess.
Yeah.
I guess a different
Read your
one.
Bible, Lauren.
Yeah.
God, you illiterates.
It's only November 1st. What is it? What did you say? Is something like that?
That is exactly what I said.
It's just the beginning of November.
You did really have your finger pretty far out
Yeah.
It
there.
was like you were a witch. You were just
I
like,
turned into the Grinch. Yeah.
Yeah, it was creepy. Interesting that you say the Grinch. Because this
Ah.
next question, which country
Which country did the
wa-
Grinch
was
come
the
from?
first
The answer
to
is Whoville,
issue-
sir.
Here we go. This is a great question. I actually like this question a lot. In which country was the first to issue a Christmas postage stamp? Which country was the first to issue a Christmas postage stamp?
I'm putting the same country for all these.
I
One of
know,
them
that's what I keep
has to
thinking.
strike. One of them has.
I will
Has
say,
to.
this one is not a European country. So if you
Doki.
It's
Just-
an Eastern European country.
yeah. It's a derivative of. No, it is not. It is not. Okay, question number 8. In the song "The 12 Days of Christmas," what is given on the 10th day? On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me.
It's really funny because this is always the one that trips people up. And now I'm second guessing it too.
10 things that do stuff.
No,
5 golden rings.
4 things that do stuff. 3 things that do stuff. 2 things that do stuff.
And another thing that does another thing. In the song 12 Days of Christmas, which is given, or what is given on the 10th day? Okay, question number 9.
Why
What
didn't you
is
ask us that as the 10th question, you weirdo?
Well, that's the trick. I'm tricking you.
Oh.
Question number
come
9.
back
What
to
is
that
the
one.
name of the Grinch's dog in How the Grinch Stole Christmas?
I don't.
Oh no. This one was the gimme.
I do know this one.
This one was the gimme.
Peanut
I think you'll know this one, Patrick.
chocolate sauce.
Peanut and chocolate sauce. Yep. Get that man a Halloween candy. Ezra! Question number 10. In Charles Manson... Nope. I'll tell you why I say Charles Manson in a second. In Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, what is the name of Scrooge's former business partner who visits him as a ghost?
Oh, I know.
Peanut.
Thank you, Muppets Christmas Carol.
Chocolate sauce? In Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, what is the name of Scrooge's former business partner who visits him as a ghost? I watched a video today of Charles Manson, which is why I said Charles Manson instead of Charles Dickens.
All right. I somehow did worse on this one.
That's
I think I did
Crazy.
okay, but all of the ones that were what country are complete guesses.
okay. Here we go. I feel like you guys don't need any repeats. I think
Lauren,
guys
you go
got it.
first.
In the poem, in the 1823 poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, which 2 reindeer are mentioned first?
I think it's Dasher and Dancer, but I don't know this one for sure.
Patrick?
Rudolph and Vixen, obviously.
It is Rudolph and Vixen. That is right.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. It's definitely Dasher and Dancer.
Oh, okay.
Wait, that's too obvious. The song always starts with Dasher and Dancer. You know Dasher and Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donder, Blitzen, but do you recall the most famous of all? Is it that song?
Well, this is the poem from A Visit from
Yeah,
St.
it is.
Nicholas,
Yeah.
which was adapted into that song, yes.
Oh, what's Dasher and Dancer? I know that.
Yes. Question number 2. Yes, everyone in the chat is getting it. What was the first company to use Santa Claus in advertising?
I believe the answer is Coca-Cola.
I would hope so.
It is, in fact, Coca-Cola. Good job.
I believe that they are the ones who created the look of
The
Santa
red
Claus,
suit?
like the red suit and the white, the red hat with the white trim and everything.
Yeah. Question number 3. Which country is credited with starting the tradition of the Christmas tree?
Do you want me to go or do you want to go, Lauren?
You can go.
The thing is,
It's just a guess.
the Netherlands gets into Christmas in a big way. So I feel like one of these has to be the Netherlands. The U.S. has a lot of trees. And that part of me is like, well, just make it the U.S. We have plenty of trees to just cut down, do whatever we want to with it. But I don't know, so I said Denmark.
And Lauren, what did you say?
I said England because I know that Queen Victoria invented Christmas ornaments, but I don't think that's the question.
It is, in fact, Germany.
All right.
Good job.
I thought springtime.
For Hitler.
that was for
And
just
Germany.
Germany.
Yeah. That is
Springtime
one of the
for
funniest things I've
Hitler
ever seen in my
and
life when that happens.
Germany. Question 4. By the way, our chat did great on that one.
Yeah,
they're
very good,
way
guys.
smarter than us.
Question number 4. What Christmas-themed ballet premiered in 1892 by, obviously, Tchaikovsky?
Could that be the Nutcracker?
That would, in fact, be the Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker.
Very good.
Old Tenenbaum. Nutcrackers all around. May they abound and be.
That was quite
USA.
honestly the only Christmas ballet
USA.
I could think of. But
Which European country is credited with creating the tradition of the Advent calendar?
Italy.
I hope it's the Netherlands.
It is, in fact, Germany. It's the same.
You're a jerk.
I was gonna write England originally for this one too. So what do I know?
It is. But I love that nobody got it right.
I didn't know how to like. I've never heard this tidbit before, and I was like, what culture would be into surprises? Everyone likes that. Like,
Go look up Santa Claus in the Netherlands.
Santa Claus. We both had to say it.
You're from Germany. That's good. All right. In the movie It's a Wonderful Life, what is the name of the angel who helps George Bailey? Patrick, did you ever figure it out?
Yeah, Maya Rudolph.
No, that is the
That's a
reindeer
lady.
that helps him.
Yeah. A lady reindeer that helps him.
Lauren, do you know? Do you have any
I
guess?
just guessed Michael because it is an angel name. It could be a regular person's name if they're going that way, kind of City of Angels, but I don't know.
It is, in fact, Clarence. Nice job, Kreider. Does anyone know the last name? It is not Weatherspoon.
It's without her spoon.
It's without her spoon. It is Clarence Oddbody.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
That's a good
All
one.
right, question number 7.
Like Jenny used to be like, you got your name based off of what you did for a living.
It's usually
Or
a
like-
last name, though.
His last
Clarence
name's Oddbody.
Oh, true,
So-
true.
He's got a
So
wonky-
either
Well,
He-
but I mean, like, well, if you're thinking of it that way, it's very funny. But if you're like, I just made up a name for myself in this weird situation.
like
where you're
maybe it's a
pretending to be
family of like
human.
circus performers.
I like that.
Carnies, just a Carney
Yeah.
family,
Yeah.
sideshow family. All right, question number 7. Which country was the first to issue a Christmas postage
Batty
stamp?
yaddy yaddy.
Bad.
USA. USA.
Yeah, that was my guess.
I don't know.
So close. It is
Mexico? No.
Canada.
Ah.
Where are
Dang
you? Where are you,
Canada.
Jetpacks? Where are you, Jetpacks?
We have good friends in the Canadians.
I'm just kidding.
And they're not showing up tonight on the.
Despite my best efforts of accidentally texting them.
All right. In the song The 12 Days of Christmas, what is given on the 10th day?
I had to write out the whole song. to
10.
remember. Lords a leaping.
That is correct.
That's what I put.
My mom quizzes me on this every year, so I would have been so mad if I didn't get this right.
No, she would.
Lords leaping. Lords
Yeah.
leaping. Lords leaping.
Lords and leaping.
But that's the last one I'm gonna get.
And I did write drummers drumming first, Kreider, but then I remembered that's 9.
Speaking of 9, what is the name of the Grinch's dog and how the Grinch stole Christmas?
Peanut
Max.
or Crinkle.
It is, in fact, Max.
But Crinkle is a good dog name.
Crinkle's
right?
a great dog.
Crinkle's a
name.
really good dog name.
Thank you.
So
get
is
points?
Chud.
Chud?
Chud Thrimpkins.
Only if it's like
How
a
about
bloodhound.
Chunk instead?
Chunk.
Yeah.
I think a bloodhound with the last. What'd you say the last name was?
Thrimpkins.
Chunk
I can see that.
Thrimpkins. That sounds like a D&D name, let's be real.
No joke. I sent to Andrew Kolb.
Oh, you
even
already
though-
got
even
characters?
Though, even though we're in a bit of a hiatus, I did send him. Here's a name for my next character.
Well, we have to come up with 2 or 3 for the one-shot thing.
I'm going to use at least that one for the one shot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then the final question, number 10. In Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, what is the name of Scrooge's former business partner who visits him as a ghost? Patrick, any
Mr.
guesses?
Betterman.
Come in and know me better, man. Close.
Yeah, I said
It is-
Marley.
It is Jacob Marley. Good job, everybody. All right, calculate your
Oh,
scores.
I remember that from Muppets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you remembered
name.
better, man, more.
Mackenzie has never seen Muppet Treasure Island.
Can I come watch it with you guys? It'll be great.
We would love that.
I love that movie so
but I'll
much.
throw that out there. I think she's never seen Robin Hood Men in Tights as well.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this would be such a good double feature.
That is a good.
We should
double
do
feature.
this. Yeah, we should all come hang out.
Okay, we got 14 total. 11
I got 13.
total.
I was really close.
Becca, how many did you get? You got 7 for this round. How many did you get total?
Those geography questions.
10 total for me.
Patrick got 10. What'd you get, Lauren?
13.
13.
It's one of my better nights.
Did Jedi take the win tonight?
He
Let's
did.
find out. We'll find out. Well, Becca
I just
said
want to
7
say this
for
while we're
round,
still
and I'm
talking
gonna
about
shut
Muppet Treasure Island because this is really funny. In one of my D&D
11 total.
campaigns, we're doing a thing where we're on a boat, and when we got on the boat, one of my other people in the group started singing the hoist the sails and sing, and then I think he thought that no one would know it, and I'm like, sailing for adventure on the big blue wet thing.
That's a joke that's lost on Mackenzie.
But
Also
she'll
because
know
she's
soon.
asleep now. All right.
She's
Well,
asleep. She just
that's
texted me to
gonna
tell
be-
me that I woke her up.
That's gonna be it for trivia, which means that's gonna be it for the show. We're gonna roll some dice right now, find out what we're talking about in 2 weeks, and then we'll close things out. Does everybody have their dice to roll?
I just think
I
the
left my
song
dice in here,
Cabin
but I'm good.
Fever is so good. It's something
It's so
about
Yeah.
catchy.
when the guy says the
I've got it too.
So stupid. I love it so much.
Did
And the
everybody roll?
beginning of the movie when they're doing the pirate shanty and coming up on the beach, dragging the chest. Oh gosh, it's so good.
Yeah, and then I love the end when they do the chest thumps down and they're like, dead men tell no tales. Yeah, so sick.
It slaps.
So good.
Okay,
they
well, we're
say.
done with that now. Thanks, Andrew.
Okay.
all right.
I got a 9, and that's tech. Meh.
I got a 17.
And I am
two.
rolling. I got
17. TV.
This
12.
I got
and a
TV.
3.
Okay. This might be the most shocking thing I've seen on our channel in a long time.
That he hasn't seen Muppet Treasure Island?
Kreider has not seen Muppet Treasure
Yeah.
Island.
Okay, we did have a
is
really good idea for
wild.
what our next movie screening is, but I'm going to immediately veto that and say we have to do Muppet Treasure Island in between.
We've got to do that other one first.
We'll have to do a private group screening because that'll for sure get taken down. But
Yes, they
we
will.
need-
Yeah. The other one might actually they might promote it.
Yeah, it'll be the first people to talk about this movie and since it came
Exactly.
out.
Exactly. We
Sorry,
might actually
what-
be able to get the actors on the show to watch it with us.
12 and 3. I don't know, she
12,
heard me.
sorry, is a TV as well.
So,
you
we
guys
both have
to-
TV next week.
Yes,
Wait,
but you can
here-
re-roll, I think.
I'm gonna re-roll.
Or- yeah.
I can re-roll. That's fine.
I'm happy
Oh
to
no,
re-roll.
yeah,
I
Patrick,
don't
why
like
don't you
mine.
re-roll because you had TV this week.
Yeah. Let me just.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You'll have Arcane next time.
Are you saying? Roll. I got a 3 and a 3.
Travel.
Nice. I'll tell you all about the trip to the Netherlands. Okay,
That
This
you
is-
were supposed to be on.
this is a secret amongst us.
Yeah, nobody say anything.
No one say anything. I still have that plane ticket.
How long is it good for? How does that work?
No. If I don't get on the plane, I don't get to go, and it takes off on the 15th.
Oh, in a few days, the 15th?
Yeah,
November
if I want to
15th?
go
Yeah,
to
like
the
2 weeks
if I
from
want to go to the Netherlands, I have a ticket, and I can just walk to the airport and get on.
Was
the
this supposed to be for work? And
plane. Yeah.
Are you considering going?
do they pay for your hotel too?
No, I would have to pay for that while I'm there.
Well, in some ways they're paying for it. I mean, just saying.
I feel like you should go, but it's right on Thanksgiving.
It's before I'd get back 4 days before.
Yeah, he'd get back right. Oh, you getting back on my birthday? On my birthday.
On your birthday.
On my birthday.
It is not Jedi, just so you know, it is not.
Okay. All right.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
We'll see.
Let's,
Hey,
Let's talk
just
more
close
about
out the
that
show.
offline. Okay, here we go. Hey, you can check out everything over at mof1.network. We can find show notes and links, all the stuff we talked about in this episode. It was a longer one, but it was a fun one, and that's what you can expect when you're with us. Long, fun things. Yeah, that's fine. That's a good sales pitch. And,
No way to misinterpret things.
Find the archives, share some episodes with some friends, tell people about what you're listening to, what you have listened to. There's something for you in the archive, I'm sure. While you're on the webpage, you can also click the little Slack icon. That Slack icon will send you to our chat where conversations are happening all the time. In fact, we had 2 brand new new friends join us on Slack just this past week for some reason, unrelated to anything that was mentioned on this episode. And so
Maybe they're big Are You Afraid of the Dark fans.
They're huge.
What was
Are
that
You Afraid of the Dark
acronym?
fans.
AYA.
Yeah, I don't remember the rest.
So you can join that conversation there too. Any time of day, there's people chatting in there. So join us in Slack. But I think you can find us on social media at M1 Podcast. You can find me at Andrew Sale with 3s instead of E's. Lauren, people can find you online too, yeah?
Yeah, I'm at Not Cool Co everywhere.
And Patrick, you're now back online, if I remember correctly.
I might be at the Netherlands.
On that
Just for
note,
that.
we're going to get out of this episode. We'll see you in 2 weeks. But for now, I'm Andrew.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Patrick.
Peace out.
Adios.
Bye.
And vote.
Yeah, if they're listening to this, it's too late.
Tonight, I guess the 10 of you,
For
if you
everyone
haven't
who's
already
listening
voted.
right
Yeah.
now, please go vote.
Yeah. And if you didn't and you're listening on Wednesday, shame on you.
By the way, big shout to Jetpacks and to Hey Pretty Girl, and to A-Ray, everyone that subscribed with Prime. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Primers.
I had this whole window shut the entire time while we were talking and didn't look at any of it, so I didn't call it out when it happened.
Do we
but I
call them
appreciate it.
primers or primies?
I don't say anything for fear of offending.
Okay, that's probably a
So,
good.
it's
That's a good place to be.
It's just better not to say anything. Your pursuit, which means no involving play for a bit.
This
Okay,
episode
very
went
funny.
an hour longer than we have been going. So
Which
that's-
is the
Trivia
reason-
episodes always go much longer.
Which is the reason it won't make the edit. Being
And
very
I
clear
ate
about
dinner
that, so.
beforehand, so I was ready.
no, that's a good call. So just cut that out.
Is anybody going to be in the Netherlands in a week and a half?
You will.
I have a random recommendation for that
Hey,
someone gave me.
and Patrick, if you gift me for my 40th a ticket to the Netherlands, I'll also be there.
You can go contemplate nature in
Not
the
for
Netherlands.
nothing.
Yeah.
Like, we can go have an incredible dude time.
That would be so cool.
For my 40th. So, hey, your move, Patrick.
Do you have 2
Your
tickets
move.
or 1, Patrick? Would you be by yourself if you
He's
went?
got one
talk about
ticket to paradise.
1 ticket to Netherlands.
One of my favorite stories, and everybody here that listens to the documentary knows, but one of my favorite stories is that I guess that joke was written, but they hadn't cleared it with whoever handles like paying for licensing and stuff, and they filmed it, which meant they then had to go pay for licensing, and it was something like 10 grand just for that one joke.
For The Office? Gosh. That's really funny.
I'm pretty sure, I think it was that one.
I mean, that makes sense. That's, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure someone got in trouble for that. Of like,
That's
we
funny.
need to clear stuff before the jokes get filmed.
Okay, let's get out of here. I really, really have to pee.
Wait,
I had to
let's-
pee, like, we got like halfway through the Halloween trivia. I
Oui, oui.
started to have to pee.
Oh,
That's
dang.
so
You've been-
interesting for you
yeah.
to tell us all that. That's
know.
crazy.
Well, I figured that everyone who's left now, it's just family. It's just
Yeah, they really need to know.
They need to know. All right. Well, everyone, we're going to get out of here. Y'all can all, I guess, know.
I'ma have you crushing like a 4-wheel monster. Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet.